and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. Happy Monday. It's Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Connor. And good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Connor.
Wow, look at that. Have we survived the weekend of heat and things of that nature?
Yes, sir.
Well, good, because it'll never end.
Unfortunately.
It's actually the start of summer.
Yeah. Summer in a bad way.
Yeah, the hot version of summer that comes with like 30-mile-an-hour hot gusts.
Yesterday, I mowed my lawn for the first time ever. It was terrible. It's terrible.
They're terrible.
Like the weather made it terrible.
The weather made it terrible. I did it as early as I could. I think I was out there before 9 o'clock. It was terrible. The lawn is bigger than I'm used to. I don't like it.
What did
I quit.
So, my wife and I have had this discussion. How early is socially acceptable to mow a lawn?
When I opened up my garage, there was another person already mowing, so that gave me the go ahead.
You felt like the neighborhood had already basically determined that it was time to go.
Also, it's not a hard time. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me anymore. Anyway.
Anymore.
I'm at the stage of my life.
Did you feel like there was?
Like when I was a young lad living in an apartment or something like that, and there was somebody outside mowing their lawn at like 8:45 in the morning on a Saturday. I was like, "What the hell are we doing here?"
Yeah,
but anything.
I was asking
if you're before 9 or if you're after 9, you got to be good.
I think 9 is fine. I would say probably before 8 is aggressively early.
Okay.
That's sort of where I would be at.
What if it's going to be 9,000 degrees by like 10 o'clock in the morning and you need to knock it out?
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely a thing that happens here in this state.
Exactly.
Look,
aggressively early.
I don't think I would say anything to anyone. I'm also less affected than most would be. So there's that aspect of it. But, again.
You also got to know the time it's the situation too, the play clock, what's going on around you in the game. Like if you have a really loud mower, you got to know you have a really loud mower.
Sure.
That's a bigger deal if you don't have a really loud mower. If you got one of the lib machines, the vacuum cleaner, the vacuum cleaners, then you could be good at any time of the day.
The actual like robot mowers.
No. That's what I just call electric mowers.
No, I know, but I was just saying those actual like robot mowers. You see more and more of those. I don't think I will ever be a person that.
So I actually
would rather just have a lawn service than the robot mower with the little doghouse that they can live in.
Oh yeah, I've actually just looked into those recently. But I don't know that I'll ever get one, just because I would be concerned about the quality.
I have never seen someone's now, and it could just be the type of people that have had those so far are not the type of people that are going to invest or do anything with their lawn anyways.
Sure.
But I feel like whenever I see them, they're with lawns that are just bad.
That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned about the quality.
Right.
That's more than anything. I mean, like I would definitely like to, take a mow or two off, or something like that. But I just can't. I can't have my lawn looking like that. And then they ask you, well, wow, who did that? And I would say a robot. No, thank you.
What was the total time of your mow?
It was a hard hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be like that most of the time, or are you having to figure things out for the first mow?
Like I think it'll actually
where your slowdown points are.
I think it'll actually be longer usually.
Do you have landscaping that you have to work around at all, or is it mostly
we just got a tree?
Just a tree.
We just got a tree.
Okay.
Also, the house sunk, so there's like a 4-foot trench around my house right now, so that's a problem too. But we're working on it.
How's this settle?
Oh yeah, this one settled big time. This one settled big
Well,
time.
you didn't make everything in your house slanted.
Not yet. No, we'd like to get that dirt in there though, as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But yes, hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Joey came in before the show even started today, before I even got here, and the tennis was already on. So that's how you know it's Wimbledon week.
He's locked in.
I'm conflicted though, because you got that going on. At least it's in the morning, then you get the soccer later on in the afternoon, which we are in the knockout stages. Hooray.
Hooray. I tried to watch a World Cup game yesterday, and it turned out there was only one.
Yeah. There was only one game. It was Canada, South Africa.
There'd be three today if you'd like.
I was gonna flip it on right after I got done melting outside, and I was like, let's turn on some soccer. Maybe I'll watch some. Nothing. Garbage.
Yeah, the game yesterday was pretty entertaining. It was pretty much.
It didn't start till like 4.
No, it started at 2.
Two.
It was
okay.
2.
Yeah,
and Canada. There was no scoring until at the very end of the game, where Canada had a good little, I don't know what you call it, a rebound, and had an open shot and scored with like 3 minutes remaining.
Okay,
and they advanced to their first ever round of 16.
Now we go to the knockout stage. So
some
today
fun matchups today.
Yeah, first one, Brazil and Japan. That's gonna be a fun one. I think Germany's facing Paraguay, and then the Netherlands and Morocco. I think that's in the evening slot.
You would think correctly. Those
are all the matchups.
They are in Houston Stadium, Boston Stadium, and Estadio Guadalupe.
Okay.
Yes, that is where those are located today. So, like I said, hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed the Memorial Park concert. They're still cleaning it up. I saw the fences are still out there getting ready to go. I heard good reports on Smokey Robinson. I am dead serious. I heard good reports on Smokey Robinson.
Did not hear anything about the concert over the weekend.
Nothing.
So, nothing. It didn't make it all the way out.
Nothing got back to you.
No.
Nothing.
I don't know that I know anyone personally that went.
No cake takes.
I think.
Well, you don't know many Omahans. You gotta get in Omaha.
I think Nick went to the concert, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that makes sense
because he likes cake.
Is of music, famously.
I think he did go to the concert.
Well, I wonder what his takes would be on.
Find out at about 1:50ish.
Smokey Robinson and cake. All right, so today is the start of something very special. It's Bit Week.
Bit Week.
This is the the next, you could choose any one of the next 3 weeks. This week, the next week, and the next week. And each of them would have their own case to be the deadest sports week of the year.
I think it's this one.
It could be this one. This would match up to be the week this year that makes the most sense, in my opinion, because it is leading into the 4th of July holiday,
right.
Where people are just absolutely, they're like, no way, I'm trying this week. I'm not doing nothing. I already have a short week. I'm going out of town. You know what? Why don't I just take the day off? Why don't I just take the week off?
Screw these people who have to work during the week. I'm going to light off my fireworks at 10:30 at night.
You know what? That did. I heard a couple pops last night.
Yes, I heard a lot.
Sunday night at 10:30 is a little wacky.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went on Twitter to voice my frustrations.
Sunday night at 10:30. Where does that come from? Who gave them the permission to do that?
It'll be that way all the way through, like the 6th. So,
but I didn't hear him Saturday night at 10:30.
They were definitely going Saturday at 10:30.
Sunday night at
big display. That would have been just
what happens Monday night at 10:30? What happens Tuesday night at 10:30?
I will document my findings at my apartment complex.
Thank you, Joey.
And I anticipate fireworks at all of these times.
Turn them into the proper authorities afterwards.
Yes, I will.
Or maybe you could just voice your opinions here. But great point.
I do wonder what the volume of calls, like percentage-wise, goes up this week for law enforcement, just related to noise violation.
I like to see that on Omaha Scanner on social media. They'll say another call voicing complaints over the fireworks.
I mean, there's got to be. We got to set a limit there somehow.
Yes.
I 100% agree with you.
Or get some common courtesy going.
100% agree with you. I just it feels like one of those things that's never going to change / only get worse.
No.
So it's like the golf carts to me. No one's going to actually police it. Everyone knows that you're not supposed to do this.
Do you mean the scooters?
No, like literal golf cart, scooters, any of it that's just on the road that involves someone that's not of 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, the dirt bikes. Have you seen the dirt bikes?
Yeah, like any of that stuff. Nothing's going to be policed of it.
That's true.
It's one thing if like you as a person have to work at like say 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but if you have to get up at like 4 a.m. to go to work and do it's like a 6 to 10,
they don't care about
radio
you,
show. I know they don't.
No other
care.
way to phrase it.
I would say in general
about
the world is asleep at 10:30 on Sunday night. 10:30 on Saturday night, okay. It's a little late still, but I see it. 10:30 on Sunday night, man. We are closed up shop by that point.
It's indifference.
It is. People don't care about other people. That is one of the problems that we have. Anyway, this is the lightest, I think, sports week of the year. So we came up with this idea last week for Bit Week, where we steal other people's bits. How'd that turn out?
Well, we never had the production meeting that we talked that we might have. That we also knew Friday we were never going to have. So
interesting.
We're starting Bit Week off a little bit flat.
So what are we going to do?
We don't have anything.
Let's have the production meeting now.
Well,
it is the lightest sports week of the year.
I don't know of any specifically tied to Monday bits right off the top of my head for either the morning or the.
Oh, we can mix them around. We could still.
True.
You want to steal one on a Monday? What do you want to steal?
What's for dinner? Might as well steal that.
Good idea.
Good. It's easy. Dinner. It's just an easy bit to start.
All right, we'll do a spinoff.
Are we
What's
going to
for
entrust
lunch?
Joey? Should we entrust Joey to book a Wacky Guess Wednesday guest at 7:30?
Are you interested, Joey?
I'm interested.
He doesn't seem that interested.
I don't know. I don't think he wants to have to come up with the idea and or then make the.
Oh, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. I could just randomly text a person to call into the show.
What if you came up with a person and then we tried to get in contact with that person? But the whole bit is that we don't know.
Yeah,
right.
So it's a Joey production. Do you want to take this on for Wednesday?
Yeah, I could come up with some random person,
or we could just get the most random person that we could possibly think of. Yeah. Here's a dormant bit because it happens once every year. You know what I just thought about? We never did this in divorce court. So each of the last 4 years, I think, 4
would be your entire time on the
3 or 4, whatever it was. Each it's been going on for quite.
You served a presidential term as the midday host.
I know, it's amazing. Luckily,
you were not reelected.
No, I think I had one of the longest terms as midday host, but. We would have the 4th of July hot dog guy on.
Oh, okay.
His name is George. He's actually the commissioner of Major League Eating, and he does all the hype speeches before the hot dog guys come out on the hot dog eating contest. It'd be Saturday this year.
I would love this for Thursday or Friday.
So Josh has the contact.
Or not Friday. Definitely not Friday.
Josh has the contact here. So do we leave it to Josh and Austin to do this week? Because Matt is on vacation, or do we steal it and make him our Wacky Guess Wednesday?
I think the question is, if you mention it to Josh and he says, I haven't thought about that, it's instantly yours. If you mention it to Josh and he's like, I was planning on booking him this week. So I think you kind of just, however he goes off of his reaction is sort of whether it's yours or his.
I think Josh will have briefly thought about it and then decided to not act on it.
I'm going to go the other way. I will go that he hasn't thought about it at all.
Okay. He's been a very busy man.
That's why.
He's been a very busy man. This week always does sort of sneak up on you, though.
It snuck up on me. It's one of those where it's like you get into the weekend, you're like, wait a minute. Next weekend, there's the 4th.
Uh-huh.
That means for us and for you, the listeners, there will not be the regular show on Friday.
No, it'll be some version of our show.
Yeah, it'll be a replay of Thursday's show.
Okay,
a replay of Thursday's show.
All right.
Yeah,
if you miss Thursday, you can get it on Friday.
Why not a replay of like January 28th or something like that?
I thought you were going to go with January 6th.
No, we weren't even.
No, we didn't even start it. That was a week before.
Is a replay of the Friday after Nebraska won its first NCAA tournament game.
Oh.
Give people something that had happened.
Were you here that day?
No, but you called
That doesn't count.
You called me though.
Or the day after Nebraska ends their season losing to Iowa, of course.
If you're a troll, Joey, yes, that's a possibility.
Which our producer is a bit of a troll, so
Somewhat.
it could happen.
Seems to be part of the job title.
The day after Creighton lost in the Crown, I suppose would be an option.
Not sure. Was that even discussed?
I don't remember. It was
so which game did they lose?
They lost in the semifinals.
The Saturday?
It would have been Saturday.
Yeah. You weren't here that Monday.
I wasn't?
No, because
you
that's
weren't.
when you closed on your house.
Oh,
You forget this, but your entire time around that period was bonkers.
that was a horrible.
Was
time.
it you and Solder that were
I think
doing?
it's Solder
I think it was
and I.
Solder.
So you guys didn't talk about the Crown?
Well, we probably did.
We
in
dedicated a segment.
Yeah, not a super
Nice.
strong way.
How
How
many-
when you lose on your season ends on a Saturday. It wasn't like it was a particularly close game.
No,
Um,
it was the first half. I think.
yeah, you already knew who their coach was going to be. The most interesting thing is what does the roster look like,
Mhm.
and then the national championship would have been that day too.
It was.
So
And we're going to be like, yeah, Michigan's going to steamroll some people. And then they ended up doing that. And then their coach left too.
yeah,
Awesome.
nobody's coach sticks around.
Awesome. All right. So we don't know what's coming up this week. We have a light plan, but we'll see what we're able to put in action after this. Today, we have our man of the weekend coming up in a little bit.
I need to come up with mine.
Oh my goodness, guys. It was always going to be Monday.
Yeah, no, I'm
Figure it
aware
out.
of this. This is part of why it's one of the quietest sports weeks of the year.
You
It's-
forget it's Monday?
No, not that I forgot. It's that picking your man of the weekend this particular weekend when there wasn't like a ton of
Oh, I got it. I think I got mine. I think I got
it.
mine.
We got it.
Joey's will come from the world of soccer.
Tim
No,
Verghese will join us
maybe.
today, coming up
I
at
didn't guarantee that.
8:30, and Michael Bruns will not join us today.
He is on vacation.
He is on vacation. So
He's
either
not back in town.
either you are on vacation or most of the people you know are on vacation. In the case of us, it is most of the people that we know.
Yeah,
that
like
are
Matt.
on vacation, like Matt. And then, of course, to end the show today, we'll have What's for Lunch.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. An exciting way to start off
Hooray!
Bit Week. That is for sure. All right. We want to hear from you. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer on the at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Who's
And
that
we-
huge guy?
And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today, like nobody who writes in. I take it we're going to be discussing Sophie Cunningham calling out the WNBA officials today. Oh, no. Did she do that? Let me guess. She went on a podcast. Is this Joey? Do you know this?
She did. She did. I don't know if you saw what happened in.
Well, I saw the pointing. I saw lots of pointing.
It's on the thumbnail.
Okay. Yes, I definitely have seen that a lot. I know that.
But yeah,
What happened after that?
So basically, I think Caitlin Clark got teed up. There was like a skirmish between Caitlin Clark and someone, and Caitlin Clark got a tee, and
Yes.
the other person did not.
Okay,
So
but what?
there was some fighting going on. Then she pointed at an opposing team player, and that really triggered the person. So she kept that motion for quite some time.
Okay, so she didn't go on a podcast. It was just the pointing.
Well, she did go on the next day, and she was flattered by all the memes that's been up
That's right.
with her. But she was kind of explaining what was going on in the situation, and then just kind of what led to that point. And like I mentioned, it was from the technical foul.
And
Caitlin
this
Clark
is
got.
national news. This
Look, it is slow out there in the streets.
I'm watching Serena Williams warm
It's
up.
also the one thing right now with the WNBA is it's just like every other day you have a different headline where people are
They're all
threatening
about Caitlin
mutiny,
Clark.
or Caitlin Clark's mad about something, or we have our good friend Bill Simmons opining that their commissioners are worst in the history of
Yikes.
sports commissioners.
Yikes.
So
And I don't need to see
there's always something going on.
I don't need to see Simmons Celtics trade predictions at the
Oh
moment.
no. Yeah, we should have a segment is Jaylen Brown still with the Celtics? Because it seems like those could be numbered days, Joey.
Yeah, I really
I don't even understand what it is that they're angling for.
Apparently LeBron's available. Why don't you go get him?
no.
Okay.
I don't need a grandpa on the team.
I figured you wouldn't be very interested in that.
No. I'm not clicking on that link.
If he's not willing to take Giannis, I think LeBron would be a step further.
Definitely.
I still need to.
Also,
I still need to finish
LeBron
my
not
list.
center. You can't count him as a center.
No,
That's
LeBron's not a center.
No.
I still need to make my list of 10 players that I take Jaylen Brown over.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
I think there's
a
a lot of players in the league you would take.
But
Brown.
it's like superstars
Okay.
that I would not take over Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that's a good list.
Great question from Josh in Omaha. I love how EA Sports made a hype or it's just a comment. I love how EA Sports made a hype trailer for Nebraska. Are they drinking or just attempting to make the Kool-Aid? What a great question. Have you seen this video?
I haven't, but I was going to ask if you have deep dived into the ratings that they have assigned for Nebraska's players.
Not a deep dive. I just saw the video.
Okay, so it's part of the video in there of like what the guys are rated.
No.
Okay.
The video is just hype video.
Okay. Well, then I'll bring you some ratings that they have given Nebraska players.
Awesome.
And ask you how you feel about it.
I loved the video, except one thing: the jerseys.
Okay.
They still
There
suck.
we go.
Sad.
We got a good glimpse of how people are going to feel on whatever day they play Ohio.
Off and running on a Monday on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
Extreme heat warning continues Monday. Expect mostly sunny, hot, humid, and windy conditions with south winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Plan for highs in the mid to upper 90s with feels like temperatures up to 110 degrees. A chance for storms overnight. A few may be strong northwest of the metro. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
From the Plum Ride Time Saving Traffic Center, no actions or major lane restrictions to worry about so far in the early hours of this Monday morning. It's still looking to be pretty clear across the metro. The major routes in I-80, Dodge, and the JFK still look to be moving smoothly so far this morning. So overall, if you're just heading out for your commute, there shouldn't be too many delays out there. I'm Jake Janisek.
Good luck with that, Dan.
You know, the offseason is mostly made up, at least around here, this is the way it has been, certainly this year. It's mostly made up of bad things. People are annoyed by this. People are annoyed by that. People are even annoyed by good things. When the football team isn't very good, everything that happens surrounding the football team in the season, in the offseason, is viewed as sort of annoying. And we live in this sort of world where, you know, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen this season. I guess they're going to go 6-6 or, you know, whatever. Maybe that would be a good season. Blah, 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 blah. People are not happy. Okay. When I watch a hype video, it all goes away. I love a hype video, even if it's just for that minute and 40 seconds of a hype video, all of the sadness and the dread of the season, it goes away. And I feel that little tingle again. Even if it's and here's how desperate I am for hype videos. Even if it's a virtual hype video. And I saw a virtual hype video. Joey, we don't need sound on this because I think it would be illegal to do so. But I am going to play some.
Welcome to Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska.
One of the most dedicated fan bases in all of sports. 85,000 strong every time this team kicks it off. Lincoln becomes one of the most special places to watch a college football game. This environment is insane. They make it loud and frenetic. Nebraska continues to be one of the strongest traditions in college sports.
Wow, do we have a fun one here ahead.
I'm not going to allow it to we're having it.
This crowd has proven to be one of the best in college football.
Listen to the crowd energy here in the early going.
That's how ready I am.
Look, I'm with you. I or the year has gotten going where they're usually showing the highlights of the previous year, whatever it is. A little bit harder in current college football where the roster changes as much as it does.
Mm-hmm.
There's one going into the 2006 season. Big fan of that.
The Penn State.
The 2010 one, I remember.
It must be hot. It must be early in the season.
Yeah. The 2010 one I remember because it was like King and Queens from is it 30 Seconds to Mars, the Jared Leto band.
Oh yeah.
And like it's I remember that
they
song
just scream the whole song.
The first thing you see is like new look Herbie, Steve Peterson's Herbie on a trike.
Ooh.
And he's like riding this trike out, and it's also funny because it's like the same time that Saw came out, so there's like a little bit of of that. But yeah, there was a ton of hype going into that 2010 season, and the hype video for that was phenomenal. So I'm with you. I enjoy a good hype video.
I love hype videos. It
gets me fired up, particularly like I said, the preseason ones. So the ones made ahead of a postseason also really good. The why not us vibe? Why not this year?
Here's what we've been, and nobody believed in us.
It's usually a bunch of walk-offs or big plays or whatever it is.
It's like, oh, I remember when that happened. Yeah,
that's the point of them. Like, there's an element of this where it's like it's okay to feel good.
That is a great.
It's okay to be like, hey, you know what? Lots of things suck, but right now, for 2 minutes and 12 seconds, someone gave me a YouTube video that removes some of the suck. And it's okay to feel that.
I loved it.
It is all right to basically, hey, this is pretty sweet.
Hashtag live outside the suck.
Both, because you get the college football video game, which,
I'm excited for. I'm very excited.
For some people, it might suck, but for many people, it's an outlet of joy.
So you tell me if this makes you excited. I have recreated this is basically an AI conversation between host and caller of Big Red Overreaction.
Did you check with Grim?
No. I'd have an easy time convincing him that I actually created this, which is good. Host, Bill is on line 3. Go ahead, Bill. You're on Big Red Overreaction. Caller, inaudible garbling. Host, Bill, you're on. Caller, hi, am I on? Host, yes, Bill, say something now or I'm going to kick you off the line. Caller, oh, hello, hi, how are you guys? We're bad. Thanks for having me on. Just wanted to say that I've been going to the games for a long time and I'm a little bit concerned about the offensive line. Who's the new coach? Jeep. If we can't push around Ohio, we're going to have a hell of a time with Ohio State. Thanks for taking my call. That is my AI conversation of Big Red Overreaction.
I like how you include, hi, how are you doing?
That's how they always ask how we're doing.
That was the common occurrence in that Cincinnati game, even though you guys were on a long delay.
Josh Peterson gets so triggered when the callers ask him how he's doing. Don't ask me how I'm doing. Just say your take. He hates callers so much.
Yeah,
I love callers.
That's why he has so much glee that he's not really going to be involved in that. I'm going to do every episode.
Yeah,
so the draft is already dead.
Really?
We still need to do the draft
if he's not going to be around at all.
Yeah, we really probably can't do a draft with nobody. The availability is so sporadic.
Yeah.
It's just not probably going to work.
You got Big Ten football, you got Creighton basketball, and then I don't know whatever else is going on.
Yeah,
but that those are like the two main things that are conflicting.
Matt's going to end up doing 7 of them. That'll be.
I'm sure I will end up doing a lot of them.
You'll probably do it, but I'll probably do like 4 out of the first 5, and then the Iowa game, which is what I do every year. And then we'll piece the rest together.
I sense we're probably going to be doing some Big Red Overreaction ones.
I also have that sense. What else?
Does that mean I have to produce if it's you two guys together?
It does not mean that.
Okay.
I don't think it means that.
I was just making a joke.
I think Joey just wants to jump in.
Joe, you like producing.
I love going back and clipping out some of the funny calls.
You love producing. Are we still having severe reaction?
Yeah, we're still having that.
Okay, that's good. I assume you're the producer of that, or did that turn into Peter last year?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what goes on this coming fall. We'll see who's doing that.
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
It'll cut into Joey's ability to make old fashions on Saturdays.
I kind of made it clear, depending on who's producing the Big Red Overreaction, if it's like a night Big Red Overreaction, then another person should be doing Severe Reaction the following day, since it's an 8 to 10 programming.
Hey, you make the rules, partner.
Nobody should have to produce that much Nebraska football content in close proximity of each other.
Disagree. Some people would love it. Just watch hype videos.
I did a lot.
All right, what else is going on with the video game?
Yeah, so the roster is out. Do you want to know? Just throw random players at me, and I can give you where EA thinks that they're at.
Williams Winery.
Ooh, okay. He is an 83 overall with 79 speed and 88 strength, and what else do we have here? 77 awareness.
Okay. I don't care about his awareness.
Well, you're going to want him to be able to stay on sides in critical situations.
I would like him to be generally aware. Yes, that is true. That seems high for a guy who hasn't really produced anything.
All of these are going to seem high.
Okay.
Like there's no way that they don't. So just off the top, the number 1 player here today, Justin Evans makes sense to me. This is who I would regard as Nebraska's best player. Makes sense that he's also going to Chicago. He's at a 91.
Yeah.
You get a 90 overall offensive lineman.
That makes a ton of sense to me.
Anthony Calandria, where do you think he lines?
Tony
lines up here.
85.
87.
That's too good.
The 3rd highest rated player on Nebraska's roster.
Who's second? Is it Jackaroy Barney?
No.
Is it Andrew Marshall?
Owen Chambliss.
Wow.
He's an 89. With 84 speed, you're going to have him on the outside wrecking running lanes.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Here's
you're right. These are all going to seem high.
Paul Mabenga. Remember all of those exclamation points from Jeep Wade and how fired up he was? 76.
That seems maybe a little high, considering once again he hasn't done anything.
He's a starter for LSU.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about Mr. Pritchett?
Pritchett is in the top 10 players yet. No, he's number 6.
Okay.
Elijah Pritchett, 85.
That's pretty good.
All right. Corey Barney, 87. Isaiah Hunter, 86. Quasi Gilmer, 85.
Damn, those are some good receivers.
So you got some receivers to play with Nebraska.
Nice.
What about running back, you ask?
Oh, yeah, 42.
It is not 42.
It's not 42?
Mekhi Nelson is a 78. Higher than Paul Mabenga.
Okay.
Who else?
Mosey.
Mosey.
Yeah. And
Also a 78.
Jamal Rule.
Don't think they have true freshmen on the game.
Oh, wow. Sad. I mean, there are some people that they just don't have on the game because they didn't
fill out the paperwork.
Fill out the paperwork or whatever. Which, if this crossed my desk, if this crossed my Equitable Bank inbox, it was like, hey, just DocuSign this and you're going to be in the video game and we'll send you like a gift. I think doesn't everybody get a free copy or something like that? Like, I am not waiting more than 1 second to sign this. I am in so fast. I just hope it didn't get lost in anybody's inbox. I hope Jamal Rule didn't receive the email and then, forgot how to access his email or something like that. I hope that didn't happen to him. That'd be quite a disgrace.
Yeah, I just don't think they have the true freshman on here.
Okay,
would be my guess. All right, so do you have any guesses for the lowest rated
player?
Yeah, so there's the 5 lowest
Turner
rated.
Corcoran.
No, he's not on the team anymore.
Sad.
So he can't be the lowest.
I was just doing a John.
So this isn't the lowest overall, but it's the lowest of the real life players at this point.
Okay. Lowest of the real life players. Is it a defensive lineman?
No, the absolute lowest is not. It's a linebacker.
Okay. I don't know.
Will Hawthorne recently transferred over from Iowa State.
I would not have got that.
They have him.
I forgot about him.
As a 64.
64.
And then there are 3 players at 68, 2 players at 69. Brock Knutson, Caleb Benning, 69. Daniel Kalen, Jake Peters, and Keelan Smith, 68.
Daniel Kalen.
So that's kind of what you have. Jack Wills, the new long snapper.
Hey, what's
also listed as a tight end?
What's TJ Lateef? Because I don't think he ever actually made it on the game last year because he probably forgot to sign his DocuSign.
TJ Lateef is a 73.
73. I'll wait for the Teefies to show up. They're going to bump him up to a 78 and play him.
Skill cap is going to go up, and he's going to be an impact and all of these great
They're going to do big-time upgrades on Mr. Teef. All right, that's video game, and that is hype, folks. The video game comes out, next week? For those who have ordered it early?
I think it even comes out.
I think on the 2nd.
Yeah. You get the really early 7-day access.
Tremendous.
Plus the early 3-day access.
Yeah, I don't need a super early access.
I need it all. I want the video game.
So are you gonna sign up to get it all?
Yeah, I want the mega. I want the mega access.
I think you got to pay for an extra pass.
That hurts.
Yeah,
I'll have to.
We have to pay for an MVP pass to get it early.
I don't want a pass to anything. I just want the game.
Yeah, that's what they do. They just find microtransactions to take more money from you.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job at it. Back after this with our man of the weekend on 1620 The Zone.
Fly ball right.
Now you're a man! A man, man, man! Now you're a man! A mounty, mounty, man! A man, man, man! You are now a man! You're a man! Now you're a man!
All right, it's time for our man of the weekend. Joey just remembered that this segment existed. Schaefer definitely had it planned out.
I did.
He's ready to go.
I have a couple.
Multiple men of the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that's breaking the rules.
Okay. I can dial it down to just to one of the videos.
You could do an honorable mention, I suppose.
I'll do an honorable mention to start with. There was a ton of youth baseball this weekend in Omaha. A lot of tournaments. A lot of people that had to finish up their seasons. I would like to offer an honorable mention, men of the weekend, people of the weekend, to all of the umpires, like the 15-year-old that I was pretty sure was working my nephew's game out in that sweltering heat, having to sit through ball after ball, pass ball after pass ball, all sorts of stoppages, bringing in pitchers in the middle of an at-bat.
Nice.
And then watching the next pitcher throw like 19 straight balls and walking in 3 runs.
Awesome.
So congrats to you people. I know you work long hours for little pay to help provide a service for youth baseball and often get yelled at for
When I was a kid, I was always interested in umpiring, like at that age. And I remember thinking that, they would pay you $25 a game. And I thought,
oh, man.
Whoa, I am very excited.
That is double what I was getting paid per game in 2000.
Whatever the number was. I just remember thinking, wow, that sounds awesome. They're rich.
Yeah, 2007, I umpired all summer at $12 a game.
Awesome.
So, when they didn't have a time limit and that game went 3 hours, roughly $4 an hour.
That's a lot of time.
Great stuff.
I saw that Alexis Jensen got in on this.
Oh, okay.
She was out at a softball tournament.
Yeah, there's just a lot of tournaments this past weekend. All right, my actual man of the weekend, Derek Hill, center fielder for the Phillies, with an absolutely awesome robbery of one. Full extension, arm all the way up over the wall. Heck of a catch for Derek Hill, a journeyman outfielder who's kind of bounced around the NL East.
Nice. Well done. And it was against the Mets, which is funny.
And Juan Soto, your friend.
Juan Soto, who many people do not like.
You're a very good friend.
To learn that.
Joey, do you have one?
I'll give an honorable mention to myself for driving out in West Omaha. I thought, why not spend my Sunday morning driving west of 156 to see what's going on Maple Street. I am shocked to see all the development over just between 168th and 204th Street on Maple. I just remember it being cornfields, absolutely nothing. Now you get buildings all over the place.
Oh, so really your man of the weekend is Maple Street or West Omaha.
Yeah,
or development.
Yeah,
so
development.
You didn't
grow Omaha.
Your purpose was to just see?
No, I was going to the store and I was like, why not just drive further out west just to see what's going on?
I was just making sure. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
He didn't just go get in the car just to drive.
Maybe he wanted to be triggered at Omaha's drivers, so he did just get in the car and.
If
No,
you want to
I
be
wasn't
triggered at
I
Omaha's
wasn't-
drivers, just drive down Maple Street from any point to any point, and you will be going at least 11 miles per hour below the speed limit.
Yeah, I noticed that from a couple people yesterday. So don't.
Did your road rage get triggered?
I was too tired at that.
What was
point.
the most surprising thing that you found out west?
Great question.
Oh man, I mean, just
civilization.
Yeah,
was it Hyper and all of those right over?
I'm surprised they haven't added an extra lane for traffic flow. I'm expecting them to have 6 lanes, 3 traveling each direction.
Well, what they need to do, if we're on the subject, which now we are, you got us going. Thank you, Joey. What they need to do is they need to expand Fort. They've been needing to expand Fort for a very long time, which would take away some of the congestion from Maple.
Fort's a mess over.
Fort is the worst. Fort is getting worse than Maple.
The problem now is people are they're just avoiding Fort and they've taken over Ida, which is also Ida
bad.
Down.
Yes,
and
if they expanded both Fort and Ida, then Maple might become
and state's already
street.
bursting at the seams, and that needs help too. So basically, all of those out there, because thousands of houses go up all the time. Now.
Redo them all.
And that's where we live.
I have a man of the weekend. My man of the weekend is, have you heard of the musical artist Noah Khan?
No, you know
seen that.
You haven't heard of Noah Khan? Very, very popular.
Okay, let me check. I don't think so.
He's got some great songs. He is,
definitely have not.
He's like Mumford.
No
and
idea
Sons.
who this individual is.
He's the new Mumford and Sons.
Okay.
You might like him.
Not just less flannel.
No, the same amount of flannel.
Okay, there's no flannel showing here. There is a jean jacket.
He's a flannel guy.
Okay,
there's no doubt about it. He
my type of guy.
Burst onto the scene a couple of years ago. He's very popular now. He does stadium shows and things like that. Yeah, it's a big deal. So he sent out a PSA on Saturday morning after his concert on Friday night. It reads as such on X. If you have to poop at a show, please, dear God, just go to the bathroom. LMAO. I've pooped my pants as much as the next 29-year-old, but you guys got to understand there's a venue worker out there with a 1,000-yard stare after dealing with that. So this is a follow-up to quite the incident that has made the rounds on social media this weekend. I really struggled. I've struggled to tell you all the details of this incident.
There's defecation.
At the concert. But there's
not on camera.
No, not on camera. But there are people around who have decided to post the scene for scene on Reddit things of that nature.
I'm glad I did not choose this as the headline because I saw this when I was looking for headlines.
This is truly disgusting, and I will not share the details with you on the radio, but
thank you, Connor.
Thank you, Noah Khan, for saying, look,
for taking a stand against pooping in public.
Exactly. And he also seems to understand that, it happens.
Sure.
It happens from time to time. But when it can't happen, and the crux of it is this, apparently this person chose not to go to the bathroom because they wanted to hear a song and couldn't afford to miss it. So they just decided to go in the stands. And this turned into a problem for everyone.
Yeah, it would be a problem if you're standing around it. It's a problem if you have a, sense of smell.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Thank you, Noah Khan. I appreciate you.
Wow.
And your great, very popular music. You're definitely not an industry plant. People are saying that anyway. Credit Ian on that one. All right, we'll take a break. 7:00 hour coming up next on 1620 The Zone. Check this out. Ocon is in town, kind of. It's across the river, July 17 through 19 at the MAC, the Mid-America Center. That's what people used to call it anyway, the MAC. It's celebrating the 10th anniversary of the area's largest pop culture event, Ocon. So the half-off deal this week is a 3-day pass, not a 3D pass, a 3-day pass, which
That'd have been cool.
Is you could buy for $60 for full price, or get it half off for $30 on Friday at 9. Or I have another option for you. Listen to this very show this week and get it for 100% off, $0. But you just have to listen for cues to call, challenges, things of that nature. Who knows the way we will give away these Ocon tickets, but we will be doing it this week. And Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we have 5 in 4 days.
Whoa.
No, we got 4.
We have 4 in 4 days.
Okay. Not the same as 5 in 4 days, but good.
Sorry to overpromise.
Still free if you're one of those 4.
Still free.
Or if you don't end up being one of those 4, you should get in on the zone deal. Be $10 a day.
Maybe we should bit steal, because they have admittedly they have really good ways to give away stuff on the afternoon show. What's their best way to give away stuff? Do we bring back the draft? Do we make the draft not dead?
We revive the draft?
Revive the draft.
It's been years since the draft has been alive.
The draft would be a complete nightmare. I think Joey would probably have a heart attack. Maybe.
It'd be a lot of phone calls.
Uh-huh.
You'd actually have to get people to call in.
Uh-huh. Which people would call in.
Yeah, I don't hate it. If I don't want Joey to have a heart attack.
Or we could do the need to get to 6 game, which is kind of fun. I always like the need to get to 6.
I don't know that one.
Where the devil eats your soul if you don't get to 6. You know, Bill Moose says we need to get to 6, and you have to name 6 whatevers.
Okay.
You know?
I like that.
Okay. All right.
Well, we can discuss it. I don't want Joey to be harmed, though.
I know. I would be concerned. Joey, would you be concerned for your own well-being if we did the draft?
I wouldn't be, just as
Too
long as
many phone calls.
I dealt with Big Red Overreaction. As long as I know who wins, I could just go and talk.
I thought he was going to flip that too. As long as no one asks how I'm doing.
Yeah, how are you doing, Joey? I'm doing great. Jaylen Brown's still on the Celtics.
Well, we'll see. Not
For
for very
now.
much
For now.
longer. Not for very much longer. And there are some national pundits who are already punting on the idea that he could return a top 10 to
You're not even
15
getting
player
a
of the league.
dollar value. It's going to be
No,
less.
there's one particular person saying he would be the 7th best player on a team analytically, and
Wait.
that
Whoa,
Wow.
if you go to Bobby Marks' Twitter account, and
Yes.
Jaylen Brown was going after him. He kind of
Bobby Marks. Who's
I
Bobby
think
Marks?
he was a former GM for the Brooklyn Nets who traded for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, which resulted in the lottery draft picks of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
So where does it? I'm at this Bobby Marks guy now.
Does Bobby Marks also think that the Cavs beat the Knicks analytically, or
Wouldn't be surprised. It was sometime during the weekend where he was kind of.
Oh, there's a clip. He went on Sirius XM NBA radio and said, quote, "There's mixed feelings about him," talking about Jaylen Brown. You could listen to the whole clip, but in that clip, he did say, quote, "I had an analytics guy tell me we view Brown as the 7th best player on a team." This made to trigger Joey.
wow,
That's
not even the 6th man,
that's right. He would start on my team
or be the first off the bench.
just drive the trade value all the way
That's
down.
ridiculous.
There's some
Clearly
fun,
doesn't know ball.
it's some fun war games going on in the NBA right now. Looking forward to that. That much is for
You're
sure.
I don't know if you claim the Hornets like you do the Panthers.
I do. Go Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, they've been active. They've been making a bunch of moves. They're changing up that roster
Hey.
a little bit.
Dude, I am very cool with not having LaMelo Ball.
Grayson Allen's on the team now.
That is less cool to me. But
I think they traded Bridges to the Suns for Grayson Allen.
Bridges was the latest one to move.
Bridges is like I could sort of deal with him, but LaMelo Ball is so frustrating.
Yeah, he's gone, and I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me what the Timberwolves are doing.
Pairing him.
LaMelo needs the ball all the time, but then you have him with the guy who needs the ball all the time.
The Timberwolves with now their new front office, because I saw the whole thing play out when that front office was the Nuggets front office.
Sure.
And basically what they want is any guy that could resemble a star to pair along with any guy that could resemble a star. And so that would be LaMelo Ball.
It feels like a very NBA Live way of creating your roster.
Very much so.
Like, oh, this star is available.
I
don't
think
need to worry about how this actually works.
I think Tim Connolly's like really good, but they were definitely like star hunting, you know. But they had Nikola Jokic when they were in Denver. So
LaMelo doesn't feel like a star to me.
He is a star in the sense that people know his name.
Sure, well,
but he's never been
two older brothers two brothers that also, you know.
I think in order to be viewed as a good player, you have to win games, which he has not done.
He did have that layup to help them win the play-in.
Oh yeah, the play-in. They nearly
9 game or something.
Yeah, they beat the Heat in that game, and they nearly choked a 20-point lead.
Yeah,
Miami came back and then forced overtime. I think it was a double overtime game, if I'm not mistaken. But he was shooting really bad until he had that layup that faltered.
They did draft the guy from Washington that I really like, though, the Hans Steinbach. Yeah. So that'll be interesting what that looks like with Kalkbrenner and the rest of it.
I just want whatever's best for my sweet baby boy Kalkbrenner.
Your baby boy.
I just want, I mean, he's a lot taller than everyone, but
no, it's like the mom of the 7'9" guy. Who's like, that's my baby boy. Yeah, and he's like towering over everyone.
I just want whatever's best for him.
And transferred. Whatever where that guy ended up.
Whatever the best situation is for Ryan Kalkbrenner, I think that I am excited.
And the best situation for my guy Baylor Shireman is to keep Jaylen Brown, who first gave him the Big Shot Bob nickname. He was the guy that came up with the nickname.
That is true. All right.
He's the one that came up with the nickname that already existed.
He's the one who bestowed it upon Baylor Shireman.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
I don't know if we're getting into Iceman Caleb Williams territory here.
No.
His legal filings were rejected for trademark.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. I saw that post on Twitter and I was laughing.
Our good friend Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald provided us with some thought-provoking stuff today. We have a couple different stories that I want to get into from him. Number one, I feel like I say this a lot, but have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't seen that.
The Big Ten is not scheduling anybody in the non-con anymore.
Yeah, that's where this was always sort of going.
Sam did his yearly ranking of every single Big Ten non-conference games. Did you know that there are just 14 games that the Big Ten has? 18 teams, 14 games against Power 4 competition total, non-con.
This does not surprise me at all.
Nebraska, Indiana, Penn State, USC, and Washington did not schedule a single Power 4 team in the non-con. There are 28 games against Group of 6 competition and 12 games against the FCS. So at least there are 2 more Power 4 games than there are FCS games, but that is going to flip, I think, next year.
The full transformation is almost complete of the Big Ten pointing at the SEC and saying, that's wrong.
I know.
You're harming college football with everything that you do. And then now they get to be the people that get to be pointed at and be like, you were the ones.
Look at how good we are. And then they'll say, you feast off your garbage schedules. And we say, we're the best.
We play in our conference.
It's a meat grinder to go through our league. We have to take some weeks off.
You might have Indiana and Oregon and Ohio State all in the same year.
You know, Indiana really has changed the chemistry on all this stuff. Adding another good team.
Michigan and Penn State and USC and Washington. And
adding
the conference is legitimately great. Yeah. I am not mocking that. It's the idea that, people would point at the SEC and basically be like, they don't schedule anyone.
13, so there's 28 Group of 6 games, 28 non-Power 5 games, but still FBS games on the Big Ten non-con slate. 13 of those 28 are MAC teams.
Yeah. The MAC is the little league of the Big Ten.
And remember, this includes 4 teams who are from the West Coast who have no business playing MAC teams.
Here's a fun sort of thought exercise. Will any of the MAC teams beat a Big Ten team this year?
Would you like to know which MAC teams are
the MACtion? Yeah.
The MACtion Big Ten schedule this
year?
Big
Ten MACtion? Big Ten MAC mashup?
So I'd have to go to the bottom of the list here and get away from all the FCS. We have Eastern Michigan and Wisconsin.
Possibility, but seems unlikely.
Oh, yeah, you hate Wisconsin. We have, let's see, who is UMass in the MAC?
Yeah, they're back in the MAC.
We got Rutgers, UMass. Hello. Watch out.
I think Rutgers wins.
Okay. They're going to blow them out.
Maybe the worst team in the country.
We got Nebraska Bowling Green.
Nebraska wins.
We got
Nebraska, Ohio. Nebraska wins.
We got Northwestern Ball State. Fascinating.
Northwestern should win.
That'll be like 13-10 though.
Closer than
be close.
Toledo, Michigan State.
Hang on, Joey. I'm going in order. I don't want to lose my space on
you're
this.
Good.
Minnesota, Akron.
Yeah, Minnesota wins.
Minnesota, Akron. Iowa, Northern Illinois.
Iowa wins. That's Northern Illinois isn't a MAC game, so that's a mistake.
Crap. Well, that was just my mistake. Michigan State, Eastern Michigan.
That would be a Michigan State win.
Okay. Let's see here. Western Michigan, Western Michigan.
Michigan wins.
That was supposed to be in Germany.
Oh, that was
and it's not anymore
because they hired Whittingham.
I don't know why they got out of it. They killed it. Michigan State, Toledo.
I'm with Joey. This is your best chance of a MAC upset. Toledo usually frisky. I think Jason Candle's still there.
Nebraska, Ohio.
Nebraska wins.
Penn State, Buffalo.
Penn State wins.
And what am I missing here? Should be one or two more. No, I either skipped one across the board somewhere or whatever. I counted 11 of them.
One that felt like on the fly that Toledo has the best chance of winning.
Okay.
I would say out of any of those.
So you're earmarking Toledo.
Yeah. Point differential is going to be immense between the two.
I'm worried about Northwestern against balls.
Yeah, I think your read on that being like a 13-10 kind of game is correct. I am interested with Northwestern this year in that Aiden Childs, Chip Kelly combination with the Jerry Neuheisel as the quarterback's coach. Nice. That whole little
his name is Tiny Baby Neuheisel.
Yeah, that little thing intrigues me. So maybe there's something there with that. But Northwestern in general.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm sort of bullish on Northwestern too. But this happens to them every year.
Sure,
in September they play an obnoxiously close game with a MAC.
Sometimes
team.
It's a group of 5 team.
Sometimes they lose.
Not a group of 5, a FCS team. Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's happening again.
The year they went 1-11, they lost to an FCS team after beating Nebraska.
They did beat Nebraska, but it was in Ireland. It wasn't on American soil. It didn't count.
Well, they, still beat Nebraska.
The onside kick was, they were confused because they were in the wrong country playing football. Mike says the Buffalo Penn State game. He's interested in the Buffalo Penn State game as a potential MACtion.
Okay, so I wondered on this, but I feel like Matt Campbell's record with Iowa State was pretty good against playing teams that they were expected to beat. I don't feel like they had a lot of those types of losses.
All right, so the top games in the conference this year. Number one is very easy. It's probably the most look forward to game in college football this year, which is Ohio State and Texas.
Yep.
Then we have the rematch for Michigan and Oklahoma coming back this year,
which I don't really care about. I don't know that. One, I don't think Michigan's going to be that good. And 2, I'm not bullish on Oklahoma repeating what they did. I think these are 2 lesser versions of what they were a year ago.
Can I interest you in this? Loser goes 8-4.
I think the winner might end up 8-4.
Oh,
yeah.
Loser goes what? 4-8?
No, loser goes like 7-5 or something like. I think they're similar. I don't view Oklahoma as a team that's likely to repeat their college football playoff, and I don't think Michigan is a dead set top 25 team. Mostly because I'm starting to fade Bryce Underwood.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know how that's all going to look.
He can't pass. It seems
that way.
The third game is at historic Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Wisconsin and Notre Dame. That's a big swing game for Wisconsin. That's for sure.
Notre Dame, the team that I think might be the best in the country, wins that game.
So
handily.
If we're doing tiers here, which we could have saved this for a tiers list this week, but we're not. Ohio State, Texas is like
we're doing
far
holidays. We had already determined.
Okay, that's right. Ohio State, Texas, far and away on its own tier, and then I think the next two are grouped together: Michigan, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin, Notre Dame. And then there's like a 3-tier gap between what's next for the Big Ten, as ranked by our dear friend Sam McEwen. The next most interesting game is Minnesota and Mississippi State.
So I think there's one that I like
is
more
a pile
than
of garbage
for sure. Minnesota will be bowl eligible. It remains to be seen about Mississippi State. Their coach, I think Jeff Lebby, I think he's the one there, probably needs to get bowl eligible this year to ward off being replaced by an SEC retread.
Maybe they don't. I don't know. They seem like they'll wait it out a little bit. It's Mississippi State.
They're in a weird spot post to Mike Leach passing because that threw them so much with that program.
What was the game that you were more interested in?
Isn't there a Maryland and Virginia Tech game?
Yeah,
that's
there
is better game to me than Mississippi State.
That's way down the list for Sam. There's there's 5 more games in between there.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see, I think, better teams in that game than you would in the Mississippi State Minnesota game.
You're just big narrative.
I'm big on Virginia Tech.
You're big on Virginia Tech because you love James Franklin.
Maryland's interesting.
They've
got a lot of talent.
You think James Franklin was wrongly done at Penn State, and you're interested in Maryland?
I think Maryland has a lot of talent. I mean, they started last year at 4-0 before they fell apart against Washington in the second half, Nebraska in the second half, and then finished 5-7. I think if they didn't have Mike Loxley as their head coach, someone else could win quite a few games with those guys.
But would they have those guys if Mike Loxley wasn't their head coach?
That's the chicken and the egg when it comes to that guy.
Oregon and Boise State is a game this year. Oregon and Oklahoma State is a game this year.
That should be that
game was like 100-0 last year. Yeah, remember
Eric Morris, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Oklahoma State. That might be a better game than Notre Dame and Wisconsin ends up being.
Interesting.
If you think that Oklahoma State can be a little bit more frisky than what a Wisconsin.
I certainly hope they're more frisky than they were last year. They were a complete disaster.
Well, that might be a scary game for Oregon because they're bringing a lot of their team over from that North Texas team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether they can just put that all in right away against a top 5 team in the country, that's a hard thing.
This would be week 2 after Oregon already plays Boise State in week 1. So it's a very, very difficult start for Oregon.
Oregon's kind of a slower starter.
Did you know that there is a Northwestern Colorado game this year? Who are you rooting for? Bit weak.
David Braun in general.
Yeah, you're a big David Braun honk.
I honk for David Braun. Yeah.
You do.
Colorado, are we just assuming they're going to be bad?
Yeah.
It's just the assumption that this is like a 3-win team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then that
sorry, Sales Josh.
Deion's done at that point.
I don't know. That is I kind of thought that he might be out after last year, but he's not leaving.
They hired the Sacramento State coach who was the offensive coordinator at Pitt when Jordan Addison went nuts. He was the offensive coordinator at UNLV prior to, I think, Barry Odom. Brennan Marion is someone that's expected to be a head coach in Power 5 football or Power 4 football at some point. I thought this was they hired him to be the OC as this transition thing. I don't know what's happening there.
I'd like to see somebody check in on Deion this summer, like a national columnist check in on Deion this summer and then write the column that says Deion is figuring it out as a head coach and there is potential, but there are roadblocks and stuff like that. I would like to read what he's figured out, if he has figured out anything. And if the conclusion is that they're not doing this because he hasn't figured out anything, then I think we know which way.
Do we consider, so right now, 3 years into the tenure, they went 5-7, 9-5, and I think 4-8 last year, maybe 5-7 this past year. Would we consider the Deion tenure a success for Colorado because of that one season with Travis Hunter?
An off-season topic.
And they had a massive swell of interest in Colorado in a way that they haven't had in a long time.
They went 3-9, by the way, last year.
So even worse.
Oh, no, disaster. They did go 9-4 and lose the
Alamo. 1 year of Deion and Colorado having cachet for really the first time in a while. Was it worth it if it ends after the 4th season? And they presumably don't go to a bowl this
Yes.
I think it was too.
Yes. I mean, is it going like how I thought it was going to go? Pretty much.
Also,
but
I mean,
don't
the second
think
year went better than I would have.
So this is a great topic. Like, but the thing at the time when they hired him was, at least from my standpoint, was, are you okay with, as a university, just like handing yourself over to Dion? Like, you have to be Dion University,
pretty much,
and
prime time.
I think Colorado is a good spot for that. I mean, weird, even though they have some history, like they were a very successful program in the 90s. And even though they have some history and they have a little bit of cachet, I think that was so needed for just a kickstart there. So yes, would be my answer to that question.
Yeah, I think that they, as a program, are better served by having a large personality head coach. Like, I made a big argument at the time that Colorado needed to be hiring like a Lane Kiffin from Florida Atlantic before he went to Ole Miss, because that's someone that can help like draw attention back to your program. Let alone, I think Lane Kiffin would have had a ton of success at Colorado. So I like the idea that there's more visibility on it. It's just, I'm curious who gets left holding the bag whenever this ends, what that program looks like in the fallout.
Yeah, it could be a lot. They could be in a lot worse shape afterwards.
Yeah.
But
that's sort of where I'm concerned. But then again, if you go 3-9 and 3-9, like how much worse were you going to get?
What's the win total on them this year?
It's got to be like 5, 4.5, 5.
Let's see. Win totals.
They have a QB, and what is it, Julian Lewis, that people were excited about?
Yes. They're in the Big 12.
They are in the Big 12.
Their win total is 4.5 games.
Yeah.
4.5 games.
I don't know that they're getting there. And it's not like the schedule is just full of, super tough teams. It's just that they're not good.
They start with Georgia Tech again. Yeah. They go to Georgia Tech in week 1. Then they have an FCS game. Then they go to Northwestern, as we just talked about, which is why we're doing this right here. So they could go 1-2. Maybe will go 1-2 in the non-con. They do have Texas Tech on their schedule. It's a home game.
Early too, though, right?
It is early. It's October 3rd. It lightens up in like November, so they could backdoor their way to a 4th or 5th win here. But it's very difficult in September and October.
Yeah.
They have Texas Tech. They go to Baylor. They have Utah at home. They have at Oklahoma State. They have home against K-State to finish out October. And then in November, it's Arizona State, Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF. So it's a little lighter in November.
Okay, last question about Colorado.
I love the Colorado questions.
When do you expect the first day? Like, predict the date that you see the first report, Sanders considering ending time at Colorado. You think we get one of those?
Yes.
I definitely think we get one of
yes.
those. I definitely think it's ESPN that's running with it. I think
it might not go off the rails enough to have that happen during the season.
Oh, I think it happens in September, maybe right around when they play Texas Tech.
That is very early.
Well, if they go,
that's their 5th game.
Look, if they get smashed in these games against Georgia Tech and Northwestern, which Northwestern smashing anyone is always sort of a hard to imagine thing, but
17-13.
Yeah,
that's getting smashed by Northwestern.
I was thinking more 24-10, but
yeah, you got crushed by Northwestern. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, that beginning part of the schedule is very, very difficult. Let's say Halloween, October 31st. That's the day they play K-State.
Okay. All right.
That'll be the first day that people.
So we are not buying Colorado. That's our takeaway.
I don't think so. There's really no reason for me to do that.
Right. I agree.
Matthew writes in, will Sanders be on the hot seat? Like, it's not.
No,
they're not going to fire him.
It always was going to be he was going to quit or retire.
They're too invested into him, and they're not going to fire him, and so he'll just probably quit.
Yep, that's my thought.
That'd be my guess. We'll take a quick break, and we will come back with more after this on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right, get ready to roll and join the Omaha Storm Chasers this week to celebrate America and the 250th birthday of America. Freedom Weekend at Warner Park. Did you see that the Chasers this weekend welcomed their 5 millionth fan to Warner Park? You believe that?
I saw that.
5 million people. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
To Ryder. He was the 3,145th fan through the gates yesterday at Warner Park, and he was the 5 millionth to pass through Warner Park at Storm Chasers games in the history of the ballpark. 15 years, just over 15 years after opening the gates. Okay, so I think I was there for the 4 millionth fan, and I remember they shot off the streamers or whatever. It's like, whoa, what is going on? It turns out it was the 4th millionth fan. The 3 million, the 4 millionth fan was the 2023. The 3 millionth fan was 2018. The 2 millionth fan was 2015. And the millionth fan was, I'm sure it's somewhere in here. But anyway, you could be the next fan.
How do they track this stuff?
I mean, they just add up all the attendance figures. That's
Okay.
it, right?
But then when do they start counting the people who come into the park? Like, at what point are you on count watch?
I think it's just Storm Chasers games.
Sure.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, well, the fan. Like, how do you
when you walk in the gates.
Okay.
But what if it's an opposing fan walking the gate and they
Doesn't
ended
matter.
up being the 6 millionth fan?
Sorry.
Do we think
Would
they'll
they
ever
give
have
it
an
to
event
this-
where they bring the millionth, like the first and the second, and they bring them all together? They have like
That would be a great idea.
they get them all together and they celebrate their millions.
So what did you get?
Yeah, that
Ryder would say that he got a custom jersey, a hat, a first pitch ball, signed team bat, $50 Storm Chasers gift card, along with additional contributions from club partners like Runza, Yeti Cooler,
very cool.
Chick-fil-A, CHI Health. I mean, so many different things. So this guy got hooked up.
All he did was walk into.
All
a
he
game.
did was go to the baseball game.
He's like, I'm going to a game.
That
It's
could
like
be
getting
you.
a lottery
Maybe
ticket.
someone else had made the decision to go to the game, and he was the big winner for it.
That's very possible. I don't know the backstory. We'll have to call Marty on this, but you could join them this weekend and be. I mean, maybe they could get 1 million more this weekend. We'll celebrate the 6th millionth right here this
Maybe
weekend.
the 6 millionth can come see us on Zone Night.
Maybe, yeah, just
That's-
a couple weeks away.
yeah,
We got
it's
a lot
coming
of
up.
work to do, but I think we could get there. Friday, July 3rd and Saturday, July 4th. Friday, July 3rd is Salute to America, and July 4th, of course, is Happy Birthday America. So check them out. OmahaStormChasers.com. I have a couple odds and ends here. Did you know that Weird Al was here last night?
Yep.
So I knew that Weird Al was here because Severe was going to the concert with his son. I feel
Weird Al has really come back around.
I feel like in my 20s or early 30s, basically pre-kid, maybe even pre-relation. No, I don't know. I think I would have went to this concert like 5 years ago. I would have endeavored to go.
It would not take that much to convince me to go to this concert
There was
now.
two
And I don't go to
factors that
concerts.
went against it. Having on a Sunday night made it harder.
Much like fireworks at 10:30.
I believe it was at the Steel House, right?
It was at the Baxter.
Oh,
They were
Okay,
packing
that's
the
not-
Baxter.
yeah. The Baxter wouldn't have been as bad. I would have actively avoided a downtown event on a Sunday night.
Wasn't downtown.
So that was a mistake.
You
by
had
me.
bad
But
information.
So
I
over an
wish
exorbitant.
that I would have just went to this. It would have been an enjoyable Sunday night experience.
We should have had 1620 the Weird Al outing.
I know.
That would have been a lot of fun.
It would have been.
I don't know what Weird Al has done recently, but I assume he just does all of his old parody songs.
I
Or
assume
is he
does
still?
that too. He came out like this is probably.
I
10
could
years
look at the
ago
set
now.
list.
But whenever
Yeah, check it out.
whenever Foil came out as the parody of Royals or Royal,
Yeah.
Oh my!
I don't remember that
It
one.
was so good. It was so good.
What is it? Will never be foil.
It was about aluminum foil and the value of aluminum foil against bacteria. But then it ends it with basically foil also is in like tinfoil conspiracy and the Illuminati. It was very well done. Very weird.
That
Al.
is
Man, they already posted the Omaha show on
okay.
this.
What has he got on there?
Okay, so the Fun Zone's the first part of the set list. It's 6 songs. It's Tacky, Mission Statement, Polka Mania, then a drum solo, then Everything You Know Is Wrong, 1 more minute, and then the next set is another one, Rides the Bus, Smells Like Nirvana's in there, Dare to Be Stupid, and then a melody of Party in the CIA. It's all about
Okay.
Pentium's Bedrock Anthem, My Baloney, Ricky,
Good one.
Otis to a Superhero, I Love Rocky Road, Eat It, Like a Surgeon,
yeah.
Word Crimes, Canadian Idiot. Then it goes on to Fat, It's My World, and We're All Living It. Captain Underpants theme songs in there.
What's the last one? What's the last song?
They ended the show with Yoda, like the end.
Oh, the day the music died, the Star
Yeah.
Wars one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They had a 4-song encore, and Yoda was the last of it.
What else was in the encore?
Started out with Toccata and Fugue in the D minor.
Okay.
I don't know that. We all have cell phones. The saga begins. Then Yoda.
Pretty shocking that Amish Paradise was
Yeah.
not in the top in the encore.
It's right before the encore.
okay, so it's the last song
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
the regular
that
set.
makes sense.
That
yeah.
actually tracks.
Yeah, it's in there
because
then-
the ones if I'm going to the Weird Al, I have to hear Amish Paradise,
Eat it.
Eat
or
It,
Eat it.
White and Nerdy, and that's pretty much it.
Sure.
Like and the Star Wars one, and that's it.
I posted the set list on the rundown so you can take a look at it as well,
Yeah.
Connor and Mike.
Okay,
I appreciate that he's just like still doing this.
I do too. Thank you, Weird Al.
It's a very unique to basically one person, and he's continued to make it a thing. And now he's obviously gone across generations.
Apparently, it was like about 2.5 hour show.
Wow.
I mean, he did a lot of songs. You get some bang for your buck. Hopefully nobody pooped their pants.
They do at this other show. You wouldn't expect the sort of crowd to go to Weird Al to have that kind of reaction.
No, none of that.
Much cleaner crowd.
Shout out to Weird Al. Also, I saw this from over the weekend. Adam McKay, the director, Adam McKay. So he did a story with Business Insider, and he divulged the information that there was a Talladega Nights sequel that was in the works. Okay. So I don't know about people's excitement level for this. I know like people slightly younger than me / my generation are like super into Ricky Bobby Talladega. They think that that's the peak of Will Ferrell. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it might excite you to know that there was a Talladega Nights sequel that was in the works, according to Adam McKay. And the plan for this movie was to send Ricky Bobby to Europe to race in Formula One. Quote, "We did have an idea for Talladega Nights too. It was that Ricky Bobby was going to hook up with an F1 team and he was going to race in Denmark or the Netherlands and feel like he's in a communist country because they have nationalized health care. So along with struggling with how fast those F1 cars go, he would have clashed with the far left-leaning Europe compared to America as well." It died, and they decided to, ultimately not do it. He said, the only reason we didn't do it is it was a lot of work to shoot the race car stuff. And then what they ended up doing instead during that period of time was Step Brothers with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. He says the reason we went and did Step Brothers next was we felt like we can just go do comedy in a house. We were tired after Talladega Nights. It never got to the point where we wrote a treatment. So instead of doing Talladega Nights 2, which probably would have been a disaster of him putting, going to F1 in Europe. This is before sort of the F1 craze.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it is that it
They did
wouldn't
Step
have
Brothers.
lined up. It actually, the F1 storyline works better now than I think it would have at that time. Like, that's nuts.
I know.
And then you get Step Brothers.
They did Step Brothers instead, which I think was a great call on their part. Wanted to,
I definitely like Talladega Nights more than Step Brothers, but
really,
I wouldn't want a Talladega Nights 2 instead of Step Brothers.
Okay.
Talladega Nights is probably, so my Will Ferrell take is that he's better.
Oh yeah, you're a bad person to ask it because you don't like Will Ferrell.
No, I like Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay.
I think it's better when he's not the primary character. Like when he's the second guy or the third guy in something, or when he's ensemble and he's just stealing scenes in every aspect, like in Starsky and Hutch or in Wedding Crashers, where he's that small,
Zoolander.
like Zoolander is a great example of this too.
Mugatu.
When he's that's when he's like the best. When he's carrying the whole thing, I don't think it works as well for me. Now, I did like Talladega Nights the most out of that run of stuff. Anchorman, obviously, tremendous too. And then, you get into Blades of Glory territory and
some worse stuff in there. Now, of course, we will not get another Will Ferrell, Adam McKay movie. That relationship burst into flames a few years ago because I think Will Ferrell got mad at him because he wanted to be Jerry Buss in Winning Time.
Oh,
there was something with Winning Time that was in there, and he ended up going with John C. Reilly.
Which John C. Reilly in Winning Time.
It was perfect.
So sad we don't have more Winning Time because of stupid NBA writers and Jerry West. So sad. I love that show.
Yeah, it
wasn't even that good, but I just enjoyed John C. Reilly in that character. Was hilarious.
So Will Ferrell got mad.
Go rewatch. It was a perfect ending, though.
Will Ferrell got mad
at winning it all
at Adam McKay because he cast John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss in Winning Time without telling Will Ferrell, who wanted the role himself and learned of it from John C. Reilly. So it's not that you didn't cast me; it's that you didn't tell me that you weren't cast.
That seems like something they should have been able to work.
A little petty.
Yeah.
A little petty.
Disappointed.
That much is for sure. Will Ferrell has another thing.
We should do tiers of Will Ferrell movies. Actually,
That's actually good. That's actually good.
We'll save that for after the holiday.
Okay, but we have to remember it.
Okay, well,
All righty.
we've got our guy on that.
Thank you, Brain. I appreciate that. That's what we need from you, Joey. Will Ferrell has a thing coming out soon regarding golf. I saw him in a picture recently.
Oh,
he was on a golf. There's a golf.
Is
Will
he going to
Ferrell
be
thing.
involved in like the second season of Stick, the Owen Wilson show?
Apparently, it is a Netflix golf show or comedy called The Hawk, and it debuts in July.
All right.
Will Ferrell's going to be out there. He's going to be playing some golf.
I don't know if it'll be any good, but we'll see.
I sort of doubt it at this point. We'll take a quick break. By the way, Chris writes in. He says, "What's the status of Con Air to the Moon?" I don't know. It's on the fritz right now since Josh and I broke up. On the fritz. Rattlesnake Ron writes in. John C. Reilly was incredible in Winning Time, but the scene in the car with the woman was very uncomfortable. What is that? I don't remember that. Car with the woman.
Like,
I mean, he was a lot of uncomfortable scenes with women in that show.
Was it with his mom? Like, do they? I'm trying to think.
I can't
or
remember.
with Jeannie. I don't know.
Or with Jeannie, yeah.
I do
don't
not remember individual parts of that show. I just
Yeah.
remember the show, and I liked it.
He's going to have to give more specific on that.
We'll take a quick break. We will come back with the headlines after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, folks. Time to get your daily dose of the most important headlines in the world. And that is a list that is curated by our own Joey Warcola. Joey, what do we have today?
Okay, the first headline, obviously in the World Cup, Uruguay Federation reportedly cancels charter flight after World Cup elimination.
Oh, they got triggered and they did one of those things. They said, you can't fly home on the charter because you're eliminated. Is that what I'm? Well, I guess we'll find out potentially from the story.
Yeah, you got to click on the link to find out.
Okay.
Then a backup headline that I just got, error on French language posters in downtown Ottawa turning heads.
I am curious what that error is.
Yeah, I have heard about this this story involving Uruguay, but I mean, the funnier part to me is someone had quote tweeted it, and they're like, "This is what NBA teams need to do to curb tanking. If you lose so many games in a row, you'd have to start
Kicked off the
flying
charter.
commercial."
Remember when Tim Miles locked the locker room?
I don't remember that actually.
Really?
No.
He put the chains on the new facility, and you know, after they whatever that was, they lost a whole bunch of games. Remember when he did that? You don't remember that?
Would this have been 16? This sounds like it'd have been a 2016
Tim
thing.
Miles locks locker room.
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Coach bans Huskers from facility use. February 22nd, 2015.
15. All right.
After Nebraska's loss to nearly 30 point loss to Iowa, Nebraska coach Tim Miles blocked his team's access to the locker room and lounge. He also banned players from speaking to the media. Miles sent Myron Medcalf a text that said, "If we're not going to play with pride, play to represent our fan base at our university better than we did today, then they'll get their voice back when they earn it." I love Tim Miles. He was great. The
Maybe he could be the wacky guest on Wednesday. Joey, book Tim Miles.
Actually, yeah, we have some contact information for Tim Miles. I think we can get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, do we have a headline that we'd like to click on here?
I would say the French language poster. But
Okay.
if you'd rather do the plane, I can acquiesce to that.
Okay. Now the question is, are we going to be able to understand what the?
We'll find out.
All right, here we go. An apparent translation error on posters promoting the City of Ottawa initiative is turning some heads in downtown Ottawa, swapping one French word for another with a very different meaning. The city installed purple-colored posters this week to promote its Street Seats pilot program, or, quote, uncommon spaces is what it's called, closing off 3 sections of Centertown to vehicles to build spaces for gatherings and events. Several social media users pointed out a typo on the French language signs promoting an initiative that read Placettes Publiques, meaning the letter L, missing the letter L in Publiques. So it's the equivalent of missing the same letter in the word public in English, which of course would go to pubic.
Yeah.
Of course. A common mistake. Uncommon spaces. Uncommon public spaces. I assume this is a relatively common error. Hopefully it's just not publicly placed on signs.
Yeah, well, they released the statement that said this was an unintentional translation error that made its way into production. As soon as we became aware of it, we have took steps to correct it.
The city of Ottawa says they did not have a part in the creation of the posters. Who made the posters then? Who made the posters then, Ottawa?
The city of Omaha said it did not have a part in the opening of that void.
It was a void. Remember, use the correct terminology. A city of Ottawa report shows that there were 24 complaints about French language in 2015, 16 of which were related to signage and display errors. They just can't get anything right in the city of Ottawa. If you're not going to do it right, then just don't do it.
French must be difficult to put on public signage, I guess.
Or they get words confused too easily.
Must be.
Still interested. So what they do with the Uruguayan charter plane here? I'm very curious about this. Sorry, what were we going to say, Joey?
Shouldn't be an issue when you're literally on the border with Montreal, which you got a large French-speaking population.
Some people do it right, some people don't. The governing body of Uruguayan soccer has opted to cancel its charter flight set to take the players from their base camp to Mexico back to Montevideo, according to reports El Pai newspaper, a TV network. Dear God. The players will go back to commercial, arriving on several different flights rather than as a squad. Is this for punishment?
I guess. I mean, it's because they didn't reach the knockout round, which is pretty shocking.
Yeah, and Cape Verde got in over them.
Nice. Another good team eliminated.
They missed out. They missed out on the bloodbath against Argentina.
Clear the path for the USA. Move them out. Absolutely. All right. Those are our headlines for today. We will take a quick break. 8:00 hour coming up. Tim Verghese will join us. Did you hear that Trey Taylor is named the MVP of the Elite 11 officially?
I did see that.
I have seen that.
We will talk to Tim about that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Plenty to come on this June Monday of Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
we're always coming up with new fun bit ideas on this show. What's this show, by the way? Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning. Okay, so during the break, what were we? Okay, so this conversation went like this. We were talking about how the next few days were going to go, and then we came up with an idea to do movie club, but it's the Nebraska ball documentary. Which I don't know that we're going to do any of these things, by the way.
Yeah,
but
that's the important thing to note here.
And then I mentioned how I had watched 15 minutes of the Nebraska basketball. I did on, I think it was Friday afternoon. I wasn't doing anything, and I wanted to sit in my cold basement and watch anything. And I was like, oh, I'm going to turn this on. It was the first 15 minutes of the Nebraska ball documentary movie, Watch and Dream. And I got to, they went through the crown. They won the crown. People forget. And then they got to summer workouts. And then it sort of started to zoom in on Rink Mast. And then when Rink Mast came back, that's when everyone sort of agreed that they were going to be really good, because Rink Mast came back and he was all the way back and he was making threes in practice. And they all had these, talking head interviews where they're like, oh yeah, I was pretty sure we were going to be really good. And that's when I stopped. I had to go do something else at that point. So then we came up with another idea. New potential bit, PNB. Investigative reports, but they're about things that nobody actually cares about. This one is sort of important. I always wondered, we never got the answer to who's.
It's not that they're not important. It's just that either enough time has passed and people sort of have moved on.
Yeah, we've just forgotten about them entirely.
But you're just getting to the bottom of a sports related question,
a Husker related question,
generally
in this particular case. We never got the answer to whose fault it was that Nebraska only had 4 players at the end of the game against Iowa.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
We know it wasn't Giancarlo's fault, but whose fault was it?
Yeah.
I have a hypothesis. I don't think that we'll get the true answer to this, but there would need to be a big film study, a film review, and there would need to be some either on or off the record reporting on whose fault was it. We know that it was Rink Mast who was trying to check into the game late.
Yeah.
Was it Fred Hoiberg's fault? Probably some of it. Was it Rink Mast's fault? Maybe some of it. Was it somebody else who is, mildly involved in play? Who was the third faulter?
We want to know.
I do. I definitely
break it down to Zapruder film style.
What are some more whose fault was it moments that we could investigate?
Well, I mentioned that you could do the onside kick that happened in Ireland. Could look into that.
Absolutely. I figured it out. It's Scott Frost.
We could investigate whose fault it was that Anthony Grant received the carry in 2023, just days after Matt Rule said, "Hey, this guy's fumbling a lot." That one comes.
They have had some really what's funny? They've had some really, really untimely things like that happen. Matt Rule says that thing about how Anthony Grant fumbles a lot and then he goes and fumbles. Then he says that thing about how Elijah Pritchett goes and he false starts all the time and then he goes and false starts.
And he says the thing where I have the guy who's going to get special teams fixed early in 2024 and they proceed to have the worst special teams organization ever.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it?
Now that one is
25 special teams. You could do an entire season retrospective.
That one was different because that was
like
wish casting the idea that you would be better at special teams, and we all knew that they wouldn't. But the other two are just like, yeah, we got these guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. Here's what's happening. Here's why they're not really playing. And
it's predicting the future, basically.
Then they go into the game and
in
do
the
that
first
exact
game,
thing, like instantaneously.
Yep. Can't say that he hasn't been relatively transparent about things.
He's very honest.
Any other whose fault that you can come up with?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Which investigative reports do we need to dive into?
Trying to see if there was like a baseball one that I had in my head, but I don't have anything that comes to mind for Nebraska baseball.
I mean, of
I don't have
course,
any Creighton ones at all, so it'd have to be you on that.
of course, there is the big picture of, whose fault was the last like 20 years. We could do that, but I feel like that's kind of been done already.
So I don't know how you'd frame it as a whose fault, but you could do a investigation into what happened in the basement of that hotel on the day of the Texas game.
Now there's definitely some people who'd be willing to talk about that.
I ran into some people who were willing to talk about that. It was an interesting conversation.
I bet.
The lead up to that week sounds pretty wild. So, not that there wasn't a major game and Nebraska had built its entire hype season campaign around Red Out Around the World or anything, but
Sean writes in, the Michigan State punt that went the wrong way. Whose fault was it? That was just, was it Caleb Lightbourne or was it Will
Pristup or Daniel Cherney?
It was Cherney, the guy who punted it the complete wrong direction. Not that the punt went backwards, but that the punt was supposed to go right and it went left.
Right. I couldn't remember.
Definitely Cherney.
They had multiple kickers in 2021, as they did for several years of the Frost era.
The whole thing was like they really liked the Cherney guy because he got a big booming leg, but he also apparently did not have the ability.
Accuracy.
He did not have the ability to control which way it was going. So that turned out to be an issue for them. I'm pretty sure it was him in that game. Just some options. If you guys have any of those, you can send them our way.
Yeah, they used two punters that year, Pristup and Cherney.
At Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Okay. So we also have this from Sam McEwen. Are we talking too much Nebraska football today? Are we drowning you with Nebraska football today?
Not me.
Okay.
I don't know how people feel necessarily. We haven't
when we in the absence of topics, the fallback is another Husker topic.
But I would point out that so far they have been in the guise of non-conference games and a college video game hype video.
No, they're not evergreen. But when in doubt, just talk about the thing that people want to talk about.
When in doubt, talk about the things that make people shout.
I just don't want to drown
and let it all out
with a constant barrage of Husker topics here in this
more painful than gout.
It's not necessarily painful.
Shouldn't be.
Okay, I guess we'll take that as a yes then. We will go with it. Matt Rule. He has things that he
some of this too is, of course, Wednesday guest Sam McEwen had a large sit down with Matt Rule and is unveiling this stuff a little bit over time.
Right. So he has things that sort of like themes that he discusses before each team plays in their football season, like things that he wants them to sort of accomplish, and basically like a theme for the entire season. And remember his first Big Ten media days where he came out and he said, we got to get the respect back. That was their theme from a couple of years ago. Just that's the example. So Rule says this. If you go back to my first Big Ten media days, I said, hey, we got to get some respect back. People don't seem to respect us. I think we've gotten to the point. I take the end of last year very personally, but before that, we're battling teams like Michigan and USC. But last year's over. Now we've got to become the team you fear. We've tried to stabilize the program, become a team that's respectable, can go to bowl games, can compete. Now that's not good enough. Now we have to take the next step of, hey, you fear playing us, and we become that team that you look at your schedule and you say, why the heck do we have them? That's my job. That's this group's job.
Seems like the natural progression of things to me. Like this is, and you're going to have people that are going to completely be like, why would you say this? There's no reason to say this. No one fears Nebraska, etc. Right. And that's what they're trying to play towards. This is where they're trying to go. This is the saying of, hey, we have gotten to the point where we're at least here. That's nowhere where we want to be. We need to be here. He's moving that goalpost in that direction forward for his team.
And he said at the beginning of Sam's story, like it doesn't really do him any good to talk about win totals or guarantees or anything
he
like
shouldn't.
that. And I think that is
No one
absolutely
should.
correct. Yes. He should never ever talk about that, because anytime that anybody ever has talked about that in a position of power at Nebraska, it has come back to bite them in the ass almost immediately. So smart to not do that. So you might look at this and say, this, I don't like, what are we talking about here? The progress is very, very small over a 4-year period of time. They say, I just want to win some football games. But I agree with you, Schaefer. I do think this is a good step. And in my mind, so I guess the question I have for you is this: what does that mean? What does being feared mean to you when you hear that? How does that actually manifest itself in a Nebraska football game?
In the way that it would mean for football is that, like, when you play this team, you're going to physically hurt at the end of this game. Like, you're going to feel it in the game of which you're playing, after the game, into the next game. Like the sort of contest that, when you play a team, it's the kind of game that can actually cause you to lose the next week because you just got beat up. You went through hell. You went through a rigorous, battle in this contest with Nebraska. That would be my guess. Like, I don't know that it's like oh no, I can't believe we have to go to Memorial Stadium on the 3rd October sort of thing when it's in August or whatever. But in the season, you just know when you play Nebraska, they're going to leave their mark. They're going to physically come after you, and it's going to be a fight all 4 quarters. That would be my guess as to where he wants us to go.
So he said in this, or there was another quote in this story. And I think it may have been from a previous coach or something else that Sam went through. It sort of made me think about this. Like I said, I think this is a good step, and I don't think there's any, issue with Rule saying anything like this. In my mind, being feared, and what the point, that Nebraska needs to get to this year is being the aggressor in games. Being the team whose terms dictate the football game. Nebraska has been way too, I mean, there's a variety of different ways this manifests itself, but I think, first of all, I think they're reactionary. I think it's a program that has to wait and has waited until it has been punched to punch. And I think and in order to be the team and be the person who punches first, you have to be confident enough in what you're doing and your own abilities to be able to go into a game and say, yeah, we're going to win it. That is oftentimes the difference between teams that are good and teams that are fine. Oftentimes that is the difference. We are talking about a mental thing here. And so, not to get back into that for the 4th consecutive season, but here we are. It is still the hump that Matt Rule has to get this program over. Still, you have to be able to walk into these games and actually believe that you are the better team, whether you're the better team or not. You have to walk out there confident enough in your own abilities to be able to show the entire world, hey, here's where we stand right now. And in order to do that, you can't be thinking about what people think about you. You can't be thinking about losing 52-7 to Indiana or whatever. You can't be thinking about how you're on national TV. You have to go out there and play football. And they still are not there yet. They're still not there for me from the perspective of I can trust them to go out there and be a consistent team on a week-to-week basis. And because I don't think they're confident enough as a program. Where does that come from? Probably winning games, right? Probably good results. And so ultimately, once again, we get into another chicken or the egg situation. But this is still Matt Rule's number one task that we oftentimes forget about during the summer, because the summer is all about who's got what player and who are you playing and all these different things. Nebraska has its own problems that they have to worry about. And yes, it's offensive identity, and defensive, they have a new coordinator and get the offensive line better and all that stuff. No, the first thing is to get this program confident. And I don't know how he's going to be able to do it without just winning football games.
Yeah, it's interesting because as you were launching into what you were saying there, I was thinking about it when you talked about the idea of throw the first punch. It's that, but it's also if you don't throw the first punch, or what I feel like what happens with Nebraska and has happened for a while, things always have to be in a certain set for them, or it has to go a certain way.
Yep.
Like, I don't feel like they're very good at handling adversity or have been good at handling adversity. And some of being feared is that when things aren't even going right, you're able to pick yourself back up and you're still coming after
it's
them.
it's that your mental state is unchanged.
Right.
It is unfazed. You are steadfast enough to believe, even if you are losing, what you are doing is correct.
So
that is confidence.
A very weird example here, and maybe it's because I just watched an episode of Widow's Bay. Or
what is that?
It's a TV show, but you'll get where I'm going with this. Like when you have that Jason Voorhees effect, where it's like, what do you have to do to put this thing down and make it go away?
They're gonna keep coming back.
Nebraska football has not been that in forever.
No, they're so easy. They're the easiest thing to kill on planet Earth.
If Nebraska football was the scary killer in a movie, you could thwart it by just like pushing a box near it, and it would somehow trip over the box and then stumble when it got up and then trip again.
Or it's like those fight scenes where there's like a horde of 4 of them that all come at once, but like you just punch them one time and they die. That's what Nebraska football has been.
Basically, what we're describing this phenomenon in entertainment, it's usually called red shirts for the Star Trek thing.
100%.
All the extra people that you never see that just die instantaneously.
Yeah. For some reason, all you have to do is like punch them one time and they'll never get up.
Right. So, yeah, don't be that. Have some, I don't know, metal. Have some intestinal fortitude.
Yeah.
Whatever it needs to be. Like that.
This is it. This is the thing for me. It has been the thing since Matt Rule has been here, and I haven't seen enough improvement in that category for me to think that they're in a tremendous spot as far as that's concerned right now. Like I know what the results of games have been. I understand that, and ultimately it's about who you beat and all those different things. But you watch them in moments where maybe it's a critical moment or maybe it's not. I just don't feel like they're consistent enough or confident enough to be able to either A, take a punch and get right back up, or B, continue to deliver punches over and over and over again in a confident manner. I don't feel like this program's confident enough.
And it needs to be like a consistent thing, like not just you did it in this moment, so that means that you'll have it. No, it needs to sort of like last the length of a season for this to really have.
Yeah, people want to tell us that they got over the close game thing last year
because of
because they won a couple close games.
Right.
Wrong.
I agree.
In my opinion, wrong.
No, I completely
They're
agree.
not just going to win close games now.
Because again, you just saw like when things would deviate off script or the second half wouldn't start how they wanted or whatever, you could always find these pinpoints for where it starts to backslide, and then they have no ability to stop that backslide.
Mm-hmm.
They might still win because they're able to just do enough, but that's not the same thing as being feared or having that ability to just show up and meet the moment or exceed the moment, if you would.
Iowa's the easiest example of this just because
there's about 50 examples within Iowa.
I just always feel like they're playing the game on their terms. And it's not necessarily a style. It's not like, sometimes they're not
mentality.
Sometimes they don't have the game all the way slowed down to their liking, whatever. Like you're not always going to win that battle. But you know what Iowa never does? Their games, their sideline, it's never frenetic. Some people thrive off of the chaos. Some people thrive off of that. And I don't think Nebraska is the type of program that is going to / should. But it always feels like Nebraska is scrambling for something, whether it's a first down or a touchdown late or trying to fend off some sort of late, wild, crazy comeback or trying to get one more defensive stop or a Hail Mary like just barely falls innocently to the turf. And you say, thank God we survived that one. It always feels like Nebraska's in one of those stressful game situations. And some of your, how you approach it affects that. And I don't know. So it's unsteady. It seems unsteady to me.
I just don't. Again, it's one of these things where it has to be assessed over the course of the whole season, because if you do it a little bit in September, particularly with this schedule, and you have none of that in November, it's meaningless. So, again, are they going to be feared where people are, oh no, Nebraska's on the schedule? No, not right now. But it starts by having results that happen this year that continue into next. That you start to set that tone of
the
this is what
results
we
are obviously going to tell the story, but I don't know. I think it's outside of that still isn't there.
Yeah, the mentality still isn't there.
Yeah. It's been and we're going into the fourth year now.
So fourth year with this staff and X amount of year for the program in general.
So you could talk about the results and maybe they're good or maybe they're bad or whatever this year. If that doesn't grow with all of his players and all of his staff, and it's been changed over a bunch of times, then yeah, I mean, you're headed a certain direction. That's for sure. It's a big year for that. All right. 402-951-1620. Hit us up on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Of course, tweet at us at Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Quick reminder before we get to Tim Verghese is that the Heartland Pride Parade is coming up July 18th, bringing our community together. And guess what? Nikki from Sweet 98 is emceeing the parade. 1620 The Zone is proud to be one of the radio sponsors for this year's Heartland Pride Parade. We'll kick off at 10 o'clock on Capitol Ave, make our way through the heart of Omaha, culminating at the CHI, where the festivities will continue. July 18th is that, and we're proud here at 1620 The Zone to be one of the radio sponsors for the parade. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. More of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. The Zone Radio Network, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. Tim, hello. How are you?
How we doing? Good morning, guys.
Good. Another weekend went by, and there was another Trey Taylor headline to discuss. Now, nothing really changes for him, or I guess maybe that's the question to you, Tim. How much does life actually change after officially being named the Elite 11 MVP at the opening this weekend?
You know, I don't know how much changes compared to from this weekend compared to, you know, what we saw a couple weeks ago from the Elite 11 finals. You know, this was just kind of the encapsulation of the work he put in a few weeks ago, the work he's put in over these last few off seasons to develop. And I mean, it's all come kind of, not, I wouldn't say full circle necessarily, but it's all led to this. You know, Elite 11 finals is where all of these quarterbacks, you know, growing up, it's what they look at. And for Trey, this is the final camp he participated in. It's been a ton of camps, been a ton of events, 7-on-7s, you know, over the years that he's participated in with different organizations all across the country. And he closes things out at the Elite 11 finals at the very top, closes things out on a high note, winning the Elite 11 MVP. So, I mean, yeah, like I don't know if anything changes for him coming out of this weekend that you know didn't already change a couple weeks ago, coming out of his performance at the Elite 11 finals. But yeah, I mean he's firmly planted himself as you know, one of, if not the best quarterback here in the 2027 cycle. I think there have been moments both at the Elite 11 finals and at the opening finals where evaluators have just had to kind of look around and say, well, this is the best guy here. Like there's no doubt about it. He's left no doubt that he can play to the caliber of the best quarterback in the country over these last two events. And now, you know, he's taking some much needed vacation. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the family. They're getting a little opportunity to take a little time off. It's been a bit of a grind as of late. So I'm happy for them that they get to do that. But I mean, again, for Nebraska, I mean, they're obviously excited about it. And on the recruiting trail, it's just another chip for them that they can use as they continue to peer recruit here in the 27 class and as they look ahead to 2028.
You said you're excited that Trey Taylor gets to take a bit of vacation, when I think, in fact, you're probably a little jealous that he gets to step away from it and you have more recruiting to cover over the next few days. I want to go back to Trey Taylor for just a brief little bit. Like, how does he stack up against previous classes, like high-end guys or top quarterbacks? I was going back through just the last few years of sampling of the MVPs of the Elite 11. In 22, it would be like a Jackson Arnold. In 23, it was Julian Sayin. In 24, it's Keelan Russell. Last year, it was Diabell. Like, how does he sort of stack up in your mind with some of these guys in recent years, the high-end quarterbacks? Like, I don't know if he's Keyshawn Henderson from last year, but, like, how does he kind of stack up with the top guys of previous years?
Yeah, so I think what's really interesting is, I mean, yeah, you look at the recent list of guys. I mean, you even go back to Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler and what you're looking for each year and what separated these guys each year. And so, you know, with Trey, and you look at his skill set, and again, some of these guys that have won recently, I would compare him closer to, I would say more of the Keelan Russell, more in that regard, more of the Diabell regard and Julian Sayin regard than I would the Jackson Arnold. I would even put him more in the Caleb Williams more than I would and even the Rattler year, the year that he won it. You know, he had a very complete performance. I think the big thing with Trey, and I think the thing we learned from this Elite 11 is he is the most well-rounded of these guys. I think his ability to deliver the football at all three levels with consistent velocity, to layer throws, to throw with touch and accuracy. I think we saw that again this weekend. To make decisions in rhythm, to accelerate his clock as needed. I think he did a lot of that at a high level. I think he showed the ability this weekend to create out of structure, off platform, and continue to show kind of some skill set on in that regard. And I think the big thing when you talk about him compared to some of the previous winners, and what you're looking for, it's not just the fact. I think about Jackson Arnold, for example, that year. Jackson Arnold had a very good year, and a very good showing because of the physical tools. The mental makeup of all this is just as important. I think Trey, again, it's something I've talked about with him and something we've noted with his evaluation over the last year. He's much further along than the average high school quarterback, or even the most high school quarterbacks I've been around when it comes to the mental understanding of the game. And so when you pair the mental part with what he's able to do on the field, I mean, it's close. Like, I mean, I would say, like, Keelan's someone, for me, in recent memories, one of the better high school quarterback prospects I've been around. I would still put him with what he did as a senior at Duncanville High School. I'd still have him, a little bit above Trey in my all-time, quarterback rankings in terms of guys I've seen in person and had a chance to be around a little bit. But Keelan's the one that comes to mind when I think of, okay, what does this look like? D is another one. It's very similar in terms of what does this potentially look like at the next level, and what are we looking for at the high school level? It is that. It's the understanding of the game within the pocket from a mental standpoint, but its ability to pair that mental understanding with the physical tools to deliver at all three levels of the field to create off platform. And I would say with Trey to really push the ball, I think a big question he's answered over these last few months has been the arm strength question. I think he's had it. It's been there. It's been capable. It's gotten to a point where it's a real strength of his game. He threw a ball 66 yards over the weekend. We've seen him push 50 plus, and be able to throw those type of balls with accuracy and touch. I think that's something he's really added to his game over these last 6 months or so.
Tim, as we wrap up June here from a recruiting standpoint, I mean, I think we've talked about it plenty over the last several weeks. It's been a very fruitful month for Nebraska in terms of the commitments and some of the motion they've been able to get on some other guys as well. So I want to flip it over and I want to ask you this: is there anywhere that stands out to you where they left a little bit on the table or fell a little bit short as far as the recruiting ground they've gained is concerned, whether it be this month or just as you look at the 27 class in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I look at the 27 class in general, I think if there's something I feel like was left on the table, it would be edge rusher. I mean, it's still one of those positions where I am still trying to figure out exactly when the depth's coming, when they're going to, when the splash ads are going to come, and maybe it's something for them where they need to still prove themselves on the field. Maybe it takes a fall of production from a Williams and Bernari, from that room in general, for them to be able to have some ammo on the trail. But I mean, they got one land. It was important. I mean, I thought it was really important that they address edge. They were able to flip Matomo this month from Minnesota, but you look ahead to what's left on there and what Nebraska could have done more, and how Manning approached the board since he joined the staff. I think the fact that they only really got one true edge on campus this month, and while they were able to flip him, the fact there was only one, considering what that room needs, considering that is a room where you would like to see a little more. I felt like that was something Nebraska left a little bit at the table, in my opinion. That's really the one position I would say I feel like there's something left at the table. Linebacker to a certain extent, but I really like. I mean, I really like Eli Harris, the linebacker they've added from Grayson. I think Caleb Green's a sound add. So all things considered, I mean, you can't really complain. They've added two very, very productive high school linebackers that can fit into a role within this defense. But I think if I look at two things, it would be like a big body linebacker. It was clearly something they sought out this cycle, something they just weren't able to land yet at this point in the cycle. And then edge, just because, like I said, they were only really able to get one on campus. And you look back at what they did this spring and how they set this thing up. They didn't even really get a shot at Prince Goldsby, the 4-star edge out of the Kansas City area. He's committed to Ohio State now. That was a recruitment they invested a lot of time in, and he was at the very top of the board. Ohio State sneaks in late in the spring and is able to get that one done. And so that one stings for Nebraska. I think in general, just not being able to make maybe the splashes they had hoped at edge. But they really liked the land of Matomo. I think they're really excited about his upside and what he brings as an edge setter. But you could tell they really wanted to make a splash there this offseason. I don't think it's there for them yet.
So a couple big decisions here upcoming for Nebraska on July 6th with Khalil Taylor and Bam Whitfield. How do you think things are looking for Nebraska as we get closer to this date, given some of the momentum that seemed to be there after each visit here at the end of June?
Yeah, I think we're still, kind of in this ongoing back and forth with both to a certain extent. I mean, I've put in a prediction now for Nebraska to land Taylor. I'm still feeling good about that here as we're sitting here on Monday. And weirdly, that recruitment's gotten a little interesting. I think coming out of the Nebraska visit, it felt like this was coming down to Nebraska and Penn State. Felt Nebraska had earned an edge, and I felt strong enough about that. I've been hearing that for multiple days to the point that I went ahead and plugged the prediction. Ended up plugging that prediction in with just 60% confidence because it's been Colorado who, from an NIL standpoint, has kind of worked to close the gap on Nebraska, has surged and it is trying to get over the top here late. Look, I still think there's an opportunity here for Penn State to surge, to jump back to number one. They were number one coming out of the official visit they had. I mean, he canceled official visits everywhere else coming out of his OV with Penn State, but was able to make it back to Nebraska, put that visit back on the schedule, and a weekend around the staff, a weekend around Trey Taylor, I think made a difference. And now has Nebraska in a good position there. But like I said, there's still a ways to go. My prediction's only in there with 60% confidence for a reason. I could still see myself flipping it. I'll say that, 4th of July weekend, not going to be very real. Like, I'll try and relax, but it's definitely something I'm going to be tracking that all weekend just to see where things are at there. So that's going to be something I'm tracking all weekend. Even closer, and I would say even tighter, and feels like, the momentum flips or goes back and forth every few days, every few hours, is the Bam Whitfield recruitment. Feels like that one's coming down to Nebraska and Florida. Oregon's out. Florida State's out. There hasn't been, it doesn't sound like either side has been told definitively they'll be the pick. And there's just, like I said, there's just been this back and forth where, earlier last week, it felt like, hey, things were really trending Nebraska's direction. It felt like communication was really picking up on Nebraska's end and communication was dwindling on Florida's end. And we're coming out of this weekend, and it still feels uncertain on both sides of things, where neither program really 100% knows where they stand. I still think there's a ways to go in that one. I do think Nebraska's in a much stronger position coming out of June than they were going into the month. I think the legit 50-50, if not 60-40 battle, and I would tip the scales in Nebraska's favor, but there's a ways to go there.
Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. All right, Tim, enjoy. By the way, are you a little sick? Are you a little under the weather? You got some sniffles?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Well, rest up, and we got some big recruiting stuff still within the month of July. Appreciate you taking the time as always, my man. See ya.
Of course, appreciate you guys.
All right, that's Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. As always, good stuff. I was going to the has ESPN done their does ESPN do recruiting anymore? Because I saw that ESPN did a Elite 11 thing.
They do
over the weekend.
Not a particularly strong amount of it anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna go to. Can I just do everyone ranking by? Man, this is like an old looking website.
Yeah, they have not invested what you would think into this part of things, just based on the fact that their graphics haven't been updated to fit the rest of the website.
No,
it makes it look like you're looking at a 2004 box score.
It really does, which it's kind of
charming. It's kind of charming. I'm not gonna lie.
They have Trey Taylor ranked as the number 2 pocket passer in the country.
Interesting.
Number 2 pocket
Interesting.
passer.
We've got a pocket passer designation anymore.
I know, pocket passer, dual threat. I mean, wouldn't you just put everybody in the quarterback?
Yeah, there was some changes made in recent years where it's like they got rid of the running backs categories and it's just running back. And they got rid of defensive end altogether and it's just defensive lineman or edge.
Yeah,
because sometimes he's a linebacker and sometimes he's a defensive end.
Anyway, but I'd be curious to see where he goes on the composite deal. After winning the MVP of the Elite 11.
It'll be interesting sort of where all of this lands because there's still going to be updates for everybody, but there's a good chance he could be, if not, he's definitely going to be in the top 10 of
players in the country
in the internet era recruiting stuff.
Oh, you're talking about just Nebraska?
Yeah. For Nebraska signees.
I'm just thinking about this year overall.
I would expect him to be in the top 20 of everybody's list. He's currently 41st here on ESPN. They will update this. They're not big on updates.
At some point.
Yeah. It'll be sometime in like September. But so he'll go up. I would expect him to be top 20 everywhere, maybe top 15.
How about this? Before we take a break here, we're gonna give you a little layup. So thanks for sticking around for some recruiting stuff. How about some Ocon tickets? That's Omaha Comic-Con, basically, for you all. A 3-day pass, single 3-day pass for this event, July 17th through the 19th at the Mid-America Center. Also, we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the area's largest pop culture event. That is the Ocon Expo. Would you like to go for free? Call us now, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. And be caller number 3 because it's a 3-day pass, a 3-hour tour. 402-951-1620. Caller number 3 gets that right now. Joey will hook you up. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. Nice job by you, Kevin. You're going to Ocon just for being caller number 3 today. Stay tuned. We'll have chances for you to win Ocon tickets for the remainder of the week. All right. So we like golf here. If you're listening to this show, maybe you like golf as well. So there was a sudden death playoff for the Travelers this morning between Scotty Scheffler and Victor Hovland. So how about this stat from ESPN, the account formerly known as ESPN Stats and Info. Now it's called ESPN Insights for some reason. I don't know why they needed to rebrand on that. Stats and Info wasn't sexy enough for them. You got to sex it up by saying Insights. Embarrassing. Anyway.
Everyone thinks about sex when they think about insight.
Insights, not stats and info.
Stats
and info,
sex.
Disgusting. Insights, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So Scotty Scheffler missed basically a 2.5-foot putt which would have sent it, I think, to another playoff hole. Before he missed the 2.5-foot putt in the playoff, Scotty Scheffler was 42 for 42 on putts inside of 3 feet on the tournament over the weekend.
Wow.
And missed the 2.5-footer to lose to Victor Hovland, who made like a 5-footer to win the playoff.
I don't think I missed any 2.5-footers on Saturday when I bumbled my way through an 18-hole round.
So what's 2.5? I mean, 2.5 feet is like pretty close to the gimme range, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking that every time.
It's probably just outside. It's 2 feet, I think, is the general, like if you're measuring it out, whatever, gimme range.
You stick your putter into the hole and
you see if you get up to the grip.
Yeah. That's probably about 1.5 or 2 feet.
Yeah,
maybe.
1.5 to 2 feet feels like that's the outer edge of the gimme range.
There is, unless I'm playing in a competitive tournament, there's no way I'm putting that. A 2-footer. No chance.
Yeah.
Because I know that once I step up to that sucker, I'm going to be like, and I'm going to miss it. That's what happens. It's like the stadium pulse goes, I can hear Seven Nation Army playing in my head. I can't miss this putt, otherwise I'm an idiot. And that's basically what happened with Scotty Scheffler.
Well, and the surfaces of which they're putting on are going to be much faster with much more turns and twists. Even
that
in
is true.
feet.
That is true. But I would imagine that still some of the reason he doesn't make it is because he's just got the knees knocking a little bit.
Over the Travelers too.
Oh, this is the Travelers. It's the Catalina wine mixer.
This is an example of what the PGA was sort of going for when they changed their schedule to be a little bit more interesting in between major events, because the Travelers used to be one where you get like maybe a big name here or there, but you had all of them playing in this event, and it was what did the winning score end up at or they tie at 21 under? Is that where they were at the end of Sunday?
Of course it cuts off the score here. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it was 21 under, which again, you look at that leaderboard, a lot of really good players. Wyndham Clark was in the mix again. Yeah, it was 21 under. It's just one of those events that has gotten a huge boost from how they have shifted the money and prioritized people playing in these.
Pedro writes in, speaking of that, he says, "Hi guys, I quit watching golf when the Saturday score is 15 under or lower. Then it's just putt golf. Get the windmills out. I don't care."
The drama's still there though.
Much like many golf fans, Pedro wants the carnage. He wants people to screw up.
I mean, here's the inside of your top 10. So you have Hovland and Scheffler. You have Colin Morikawa, Matt Fitzpatrick. So right there, you have a lot of guys who have won. Wyndham Clark. That's a 7 majors won there, I think. Akshay Bhatia, Corey Connors, Alex Fitzpatrick, who I don't know.
You're just naming guys at this point.
Yeah, well, a lot of these are known players.
The last 3, I sort of fell off on you.
Akshay and Alex Fitzpatrick are 2.
I definitely don't know Alex Fitzpatrick.
Corey Connors is pretty well known.
Okay. I've definitely heard the name before.
Canadian left-hander that usually threatens to be the best player in the first round of the Masters some years.
Nice. Nice job.
Isn't going to win it necessarily. And then JJ Spawn, who won the U.S. Open last year.
Right.
So, yeah, just really good golfers playing in this event.
If you could have one golf thing that it's going to be there for you every single, I mean, 42 for 42 on 2.5 foot, 3 foot putts might not seem like a big deal, but it might save you some time.
Sure,
A little bit later on. Like if you could make every single one of those putts, or would it just be something simple as I want to hit my driver straight?
Well, yeah,
time.
I was going to say if I could, and it doesn't even have to be
on my approaches, I want to be on the green every single time. Like
this
that's
is not the far end of the range of which I can hit, but if you could guarantee me 265 in the direction of which I want it to go off the box, I'm taking that every time. And I understand I can blow up my scorecard in a myriad ways, but the general feeling of just getting off the tee box and starting off the hole well and in the fairway.
That's true, but has not
huge.
saved me many times before.
No.
So what I would do is if I was granted a magical golf power, I would take something to do with the approach. If I can be,
if you could be like, yeah, you're going to be good on shots inside of 40 yards, I would take that every day.
I was thinking further out than that.
Well, but I'm trying not to, because obviously if you can just pick something to be great at, you're going to maximize it to the largest level.
True.
Trying to avoid doing that entirely.
Okay, so if we're doing that, then it's the medium one. It's
Yeah.
it's the approach. It's not the small or the big. I can make do there. It's the medium one. That's where the holes really go off the rails for me.
I enjoy that there's nothing more bankable than if I hit a really nice drive.
You will screw up the second
The
shot.
second shot will be terrible.
Yeah.
If I spray the drive into the rough,
then you can find your way out.
Right.
All right, quick time out here. We'll come back after this. Welcome back. 9 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer. 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Raccolo with you as we begin your 4th of July week, ladies and gentlemen. But according to our eyes around Omaha, the celebration has started already.
Started at 10:30 on a Sunday night.
Oh, no, it started before that.
Oh, yeah.
But it
went on at
it continued
on a Sunday night at 10:30.
10:30 on a Sunday night. Still
That could be a good
over
song. That could be a song. 10:30 on a Sunday night.
10:30 on a Sunday night. Joey woke up from fireworks.
Wouldn't the lyrics just be everyone's asleep?
Everyone's
Isn't that what
asleep.
Happer's saying?
That's what it's supposed to be, but apparently people are blowing stuff up.
I wasn't asleep at 10:30 last night.
I was not either.
I was like
But I did- that's
eventually
because I
going
did
to
The only
sleep
ti-
shortly after that. but-
The only time I would do such a thing is if the Packers win the Super Bowl, or maybe just go out at 70.
Would you actually shoot off fireworks?
Nah, I might just go out on 72nd and Dodge and parade over there.
Okay.
You wouldn't do that either.
You think you would have people joining you?
Yeah, there's plenty of Packers faithful.
You think there would be a Packers conglomerate at
Yes,
72nd and
there
Dodge?
will be.
How did you celebrate the Royals winning the World Series? What
I
did
was
you
just
do?
really happy on my couch.
Yeah, like I don't think I would physically go anywhere or do anything should the Vikings do something that they won't do.
And I was in like prime celebrating age too. I was 23
Yeah.
when the Royals won the World Series. And so I was extremely happy, sort of emotional, you know?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I just sat there and watched the World Series and got really happy and then went to bed.
So
it was late. I think it was a Sunday night.
do you think in 2045 you'll even stay up for the conclusion of the game? They only win their World Series every 30 years.
Great question. Yes, I will stay up.
Okay.
I will stay up.
How old will you be in 2045?
53.
Wow.
He'll still have the energy to do that.
And I'm not excited about it.
That's
either.
terrible.
That's terrible.
The Royals won the World Series on November 1st of 2015, I believe that was but why doesn't it tell me what day of the week?
It was a Sunday night.
I thought it was too.
It's a Sunday night because
But
the
you did-
Saturday night game
Yeah. You didn't tell me I was right on that.
or they play Friday night. The Friday night was the Murphy Air. That's what I remember.
Yes.
We were standing. Brunson and I were at.
Yeah, it was a Sunday.
we were
Because
at-
I was like, oh, it's a Sunday, and then I have to go do
I
a
think
show.
Matt Harvey pitched.
Because I was doing the morning show at the time, and I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah, Matt Harvey pitched, and
They left him in too long.
Yep, Terry Collins, Grady Littled the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the end of that for the Mets.
He was like bleeding or something. Was that game?
I don't. Was it? Do you have blood? Like, do you have a blister break on his finger? Or
Yes,
something?
that was it. There
He
was
trying to pitch
blood
through it, and
involved.
yeah, that sounds about right.
And Terry Collins left him in. Plaquette says Joey, Packer, Sam, and Padilla getting crunk at Grand China Buffet. Take them.
Don't forget about Dan.
That's when you celebrate the bowl game's birth. You go to the Grand China Buffet at 114th and Dodge.
All the Packers
When Nebraska gets invited to the Pinstripe Bowl again, we'll be at the Grand China
We'll be
Buffet.
partying. Mason Daniel says, I can't remember the last time I was asleep at 10:30. Now on the East Coast, I doubt I will ever be. That is true. 9:30, you'll miss everything sports wise. So 10:30 in the East, yeah, your earliest possible bedtime if you're a sports fan on the East Coast,
11:30.
11:30. Yeah. Like some nights you could probably get away with going to bed a little bit early, but if you're a sports guy, I mean, you're screwed.
It's interesting too because I feel like my experience on the East Coast, things start early in the morning there too. Like it's activity and the hustle and bustle is going by 6:30 in the morning. So those people are just never getting any sleep.
That's right.
It's why they're probably famously rude.
Probably. They're just angry all the time.
They didn't get sleep last night. You're in their way. Get the hell out of their way.
Topic alert. Nebraska football had another social media post over the weekend.
Ooh.
No, this is not about how we're mad at them for doing social media.
Are we mad at them?
No, we're not.
I'm not mad at them.
I'm not mad at them
Okay,
at all.
I'm just making sure.
Although I did happen to notice that all of the loudest moments in Memorial Stadium, that the video that they put out, which we'll talk about in a second, I couldn't help but notice that all of them, they had normal jerseys for. and not weird half stripe, weird number jerseys like they're going to have
Because
this
they
year.
don't win those games.
No,
They're 0-5 in black jerseys.
No. I'm talking about their regular jerseys were good. This year, their regular jerseys will be bad.
Basically, you're saying 2002, there was no loud moments.
Correct.
Trying to think if there was another
Every
year.
other year throughout the history of time has, except for 2002
and the alternate game.
and the alternate games, has been
People
awesome.
were kind of loud in 2011 or 2012 when they beat Wisconsin wearing the Whataburger uniforms.
Those were terrible.
Yeah.
That did not make.
I always tell people that's my favorite alternate, which it's not, but it's just to get people wild.
Hit it.
They're terrible.
They were terrible.
The-
They had the big N and the big W on them. Oh,
the
those were
ice
so bad.
whites in 2016, I think it's my stock answer of favorite alternate.
Those are good.
They looked really clean, really nice.
Those
They
were
didn't
that
detract
was the
from
game
anything.
where they took a knee, right? The Northwestern game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
That's why no one ever thinks of that game, because the story was about something different. If I remember right.
Yeah.
Anyway, here is a list of the games that were featured in the video. Let's see if this is a complete list. So they said loudest moments, which they play each of the moments, but I think it also doubles as like the loudest games at Memorial Stadium. First one on there is 2016 Oregon. People forget Nebraska's last ranked win.
Yeah. Solid game.
Whoa, you're out on 2016 Oregon.
Yeah, I remember the Michael Rose, now Michael Rose Ivy with the sack, and then I think
he was Michael Rose Ivy at the time.
He might have been Michael Rose Ivy.
It was he was almost Michael Rose.
He was
Ivy.
Michael Rose when I first got to know of him, and then it became hard to remember him as Michael Rose Ivy. And now he's coaching down in the Kansas City area, I believe, and so he's very active with Nebraska football.
That's great. He smoked Dakota Prukop.
I love doing the last time Nebraska beat a ranked team. Do you know who the quarterback was? And people have to think about it. And they can usually get to Oregon, but they cannot come up with the Dakota Prukop.
We were asking people nonstop at the Omaha Baseball Village if they knew that Nebraska hadn't had a ranked win since 2016. Many of the Oklahoma fans were like, no, wow, that's crazy. And then one guy was like, oh yeah, I do know that. And then I asked, do you remember the game? And he couldn't come up with it after like 6 guesses.
Oh,
and I was like, it's Oregon. And they actually turned out to be bad that year.
They weren't that good.
So anyway, 16 Oregon, 96 Colorado, 08 Colorado.
I was going to say that one for sure.
94 Colorado, 24 Colorado. All of them on the list.
People love being loud when Colorado's involved.
I mean, when you think about it, which moment takes the cake of the Colorado games at Memorial Stadium?
So I think the singular moment has to be the 2008 field goal.
The field goal or the Sioux?
Those combined, like you combine those two things, like that is.
You only get to have one. New rule. You only get to have one.
So then it's a field goal.
Okay.
It's a field goal.
I think like obviously the field goal leads to the Sioux thing, but the Sioux stiff arm Cody Hawkins into into the magma of the earth. I mean, it was fantastic. And it was against Colorado. And it was like the whole thing. That was the louder moment. The Alex Henry field goal going in was like more ridiculous and exciting. It was almost like when they caught the Hail Mary. It was like, what's going on? But it's like when Frager made the layup in the tournament. It was that kind of noise.
Yeah.
The Sioux one was like, one of those. I think that's better.
The Sioux one is like, we're never losing again.
I know.
Sort of thing.
We have the best player in America. So once again, the Colorado moments come from 94, 96, 08, and 24.
So the text line is going to have to fill us in on. I don't think 94 is a Halloween game, is it?
94 is the one that everybody talks about. The
Okay.
94, because they smoked them like 100-0.
Smashed. Yeah, maybe that was a Halloween game. So
I
then,
don't know much about the 96.
That's the one that I'm trying to remember. If they had to, Nebraska had to kind of come back late and win with a field. Was that like 16-13 kind of game or something like that?
It's on the video.
Obviously, the 24 is the Tommy Hill interception return.
Okay, so that deserves some love here, right? Sit Destroyer says the Shador pick 6. I mean, that I mean, I think that's as loud of a moment as I've ever heard at Memorial Stadium.
I don't know if it's as loud as a moment because, and I'm sure it's on here, the Wester catch is euphoric loud. And then the 2014 Miami game was like loud throughout.
Also on here.
So that one would certainly
They
be
chose
up there.
the moment from that game where Randy Gregory sacked what was that guy's name? Kafka.
Brad Kaya.
Kaya, thank you.
Whose
yeah.
mom was Felicia in the Friday movie.
That's right. That what a great talking point for that week.
Yeah, a lot of by Felicia comments.
All right, so we have covered almost all of them from the video. Oregon 16, Colorado 96, Northwestern 13, Wester catch, Colorado 24, Miami's 14, Colorado 94, Colorado 08. There have been 3 that on this list that we have not mentioned.
I know one for sure. The Eric Crouch catch against Oklahoma.
You got it?
Okay, so there's 2 more on here?
There's 2 more. Now, one of them was before my time.
Okay, so
and your time too.
I'm guessing the one that's not before your time. We still haven't mentioned Michigan State in 2015.
You bet.
Okay, so that one. So now we have everything that's
happened in our lifetime,
contemporary or whatever.
Yeah.
So all right, pre-us loud moments in Memorial Stadium. I'm guessing this probably. Did we have any in the 80s?
82 was the year.
Okay. I do not know.
82 Oklahoma.
Okay.
Is the one that they put in the video. Anyway, Brett Minnesota writes and he says Black 41 flash reverse is easily the loudest I've ever heard. I hear this argument made for the loudest moment I've heard for so many different moments. And you know what's funny? Like all of them are over the last 20 years as Nebraska football, hasn't been very good. 25 years now, I guess, as Nebraska football hasn't been very good. But all of them are like during that period of time. Loudest moment I've heard. Loudest.
More people in the stands at that time too.
That's true. There's no doubt. But I mean, part of it is we're just further away from the past, meaning there's less people to remember it and things of that nature. That one comes to mind as like the biggest crowd pop ever.
Yeah, I've heard people that were there that day that have waved that against like the Wester catch, have waved that against the 2014 Miami.
I'm not putting the Wester catch anywhere near it. I don't think that was a moment of relief.
Sure.
It was
loud. Like there's no question.
It was loud in like a celebratory way, but it wasn't like they survived. That was the prevailing emotion.
Sure.
The prevailing emotion in 01 when they beat Oklahoma was we're the best team in the country.
It was jubilation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's definitely
And I
fair.
do think that matters in terms of the quote unquote loudness.
The fascinating stuff to me, I would say 06 Texas was really loud. That didn't get mentioned in there, but how that game was played out, multiple different instances in there. The fascinating thing for me is that none of these moments are as loud as the 2009 Virginia Tech game with the Danny Cole catch because of the way that stadium's built and how the noise just sits on it. There's a louder environment.
Mike
overall.
Schaefer here to say, yeah, Memorial Stadium is pretty good, but you guys weren't at the Danny Cole catch.
Well, I'm just saying the way the stadium is set up, the noise doesn't sit the same way. Like it's if you go into an arena where it's like the pit where it's built into the ground and the noise has nowhere to really escape out of it. It's really loud in those sorts of environments.
Okay.
The way that Virginia Tech is very upright, the stadium, so the noise just sits on top of it.
Would that be the loudest moment you've ever experienced?
I think it's the loudest that I've ever for a game.
So you're gonna laugh when I say this because your point is I think completely accurate, well taken. Like the situation matters and how the stadium is set up matters and all this different stuff. Like I think the loudest moment that I can recall being in the stadium it's pretty close. I mean,
It involves Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Somehow I knew that was coming.
It's pretty close between that and just whichever one from the 2014 American League wildcard game. But like, I mean, you can really tell when the silence comes in, at that game, at that 14 game, it was so loud. And then Brandon Moss hit like a 5,000-foot home run. And then
I remember that home run.
It was so quiet immediately after. It was like, oh, I didn't even realize how loud it was.
It was raining so hard in Lincoln that night.
Oh, yeah. People's basements flooded.
It rained so hard. I left like the 7th inning. I was at a friend's watching this. And I left in the 7th inning, and it was just raining extremely hard. And I remember getting pulled over for some reason, but I don't remember exactly why, because I didn't get a ticket. It wasn't like a lights thing. It wasn't like I was swerving. I just remember getting pulled over and being like, this officer's insane. He's going to have to get out of his car, come over to me while he's just getting pelted with rain. And I don't remember what it was for. I think it was to tell me that they didn't have the route that I was going to go was getting shut down. Like the electricity was out. And so they were diverting traffic or whatever it was. It was just bizarre. But I just remember the rain being so hard getting home. Then it goes into extra innings. And it's like Kansas City didn't rain at all.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a lovely night.
But it was like a coastal downpour here.
Nick from St. Louis writes in, he says, I was at that Western Catch game, left early and watched it. I watched the end in the parking lot. Of course, with the delay, I didn't see it live, but knew what happened because I heard the crowd from the parking lot. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you'd have a hard time not hearing. You could hear the crowd at Memorial Stadium from several blocks away.
That would be I've never experienced that where I'm just around the stadium, but not in the stadium.
Oh, really?
Like I've never.
It's quite the phenomenon.
Never really done that. I have that where you leave baseball games or whatever, and someone hits a home run, and you hear the crowd because of that.
For when we did those post game shows in the bottoms, this is 2 years ago now. We did them for a couple games. One of them was the 24 Colorado game. You could hear, like, very clearly, you could hear Nate roar on the PA. Wow. Yeah, and this is across the railroad tracks, a few blocks away. Yeah. So it just kind of. The sound just kind of bangs, but you could hear the crowd, obviously, very, very easily.
I may go try that. Maybe I'll experience a game without being at it in the area.
Also, Nick, handshake beam. I also left the Western Catch game. I've left many of the famous Bo Pelini games as a student.
Were you? You weren't you were a student at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. I also left the 2011 Ohio State game.
Connor, big on just bolting.
Yeah, Bo was mad at me.
He was mad at you.
Bo was mad at me.
He was mad at a lot of people.
Fairweather fans.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not. It's not at all. Blackcat says you could hear the Western Catch from 17th and Sumner. I mean, yeah, I was a little further away than that. I think I heard it. I think. And then we got one more. Let's see. There was a comment from earlier. Oh yeah, Mustache Adam. He says, 01 Oklahoma, 08 Colorado, 24 Colorado were all loud moments. 2014 Miami was the loudest I remember from start to finish.
The angriest crowd I can remember.
Yeah. I yearn for those moments.
Yeah, that was great.
I love the pissed off
24 Colorado had a crowd that came in that was ready to go that day.
They did, and then it was great, and then the second half happened.
Mediocre, yeah.
And it was like, ugh.
But 2014 Miami was just anger all day, anger throughout Lincoln, fights in the Starlight Lounge of all places.
That was awesome.
The reservation bus gets tipped over.
That's right. That was that day.
There's just a lot happened.
Great times. They had the Red Bull guy.
Fight at Heidelberg's.
There was a fight at Heidelberg's.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the fight at the Starlight Lounge either.
I think a notable Omaha athlete was involved in the fight at Heidelberg.
Awesome. I only closely followed the res on that day. For obvious reasons.
What happened there?
Terry writes in, hi guys, the problem with the Western Camp Catch is a lot of people had exited the building before it happened. I stayed. Terry, you're a better man than I. My vote goes to the Henry field goal. We had held our breath the entire time it was in the air and exploded when it was signaled good. One of my favorite moments of Memorial Stadium, Terry. That is definitely one of the best moments in Memorial Stadium. I don't know about like loudest.
I think it's BC that always talks about how much he loves that call because of the get there that that Sharp drops in on it.
It's so there's nothing like it when a long field goal goes into the air and it's just like what can you do?
Yeah.
You just have to sit there and watch it. There's no noise to be made.
It was the same game where they ran that horrendous fake field goal attempt that got picked off and ran back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that happened in that game.
Oh yeah.
But you're always going to go back to that field goal.
And then the soup play.
Yeah. And the soup play.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll have some more thoughts from you all, 402-951-1620, and a couple more things before we get you out of here on a Monday on Happer Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right. Theo is always here for the random. Casey Thompson touchdown pass to Palmer versus Indiana ranks high.
Theo, it absolutely did not.
This must have been 2022, I suppose.
There's only 1 year where it could have been.
How many crowd pops was Casey Thompson responsible for? Like, I would say a grand total of like 3.
I just remember after the first game of the next season against Minnesota, some drunk caller called in the Big Red overreaction, thinking Casey Thompson was still playing, and you had to remind him Jeff Sims is the quarterback. I have the clip out there.
This is what I have to look
Casey
forward
Thompson,
to.
terrible.
No,
This is my future.
So, Big Red Overreaction preview here. We all talk about how, we don't want to do Big Red Overreaction, or we have other stuff to do, or whatever it is. It is so much fun to host. It is so much fun. I always enjoy. It's one of those things that I always dread, but I always enjoy myself almost every single time, because it's such a fast 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's talk about the football game. It's great. I just can't bring myself to want to do it.
Sure, it doesn't.
It's fun.
It's fun. No,
it's fun regardless of the result.
Great.
It's fun. It's fun.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
And if you like radio callers, which I love radio callers.
I do too. And obviously, having not been a part of it, it's not like I don't have the experience of listening to the people or the calls that get clipped out or put on social media. And, in Twitter's better days, the NU radio caller account.
Where'd that go?
That was more with, I think, the actual show.
Oh yeah, I remember
the network's reaction show.
He would listen to ours too.
I know. No,
and I always felt so honored when I was co-host Connor.
Connor. Yeah. We should check and see if that count is how long defunct do we think that's been?
It was definitely doing tweets last year.
Okay.
I do hope we do get Brad, the Chamber of Commerce from Charlotte, back.
You
on
like
line.
that one, and it started to really grow old on me. And then
I just love.
And then he came back at the end. He came back a little bit at the end.
It went from Charlotte to Detroit, and now they don't have the bowl game anymore. I don't think they.
Wow.
I think they got rid of it.
So Brad would call in and talk about the Chamber of Commerce of a bad bowl game site.
Yeah, the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Okay.
So I think
Duke's would be the best bowl game Nebraska's been in since the Music City Bowl of the two. I guess the Vegas Bowl was maybe better.
You'll either get that guy or like literally an entire family just constantly calling like we did after Nebraska clinched bowl eligibility for the first time for a long time.
People forget. The NU radio caller account appears to be defunct.
Yeah, I can't find it.
So Dave Fite did a tweet on this last year before the season started, and he says he looked it up on Twitter at NU radio caller, and it's just not there anymore.
Sad.
This is before last season. I could have sworn there was some tweets.
Maybe
last year,
once they reached the pinnacle of the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, there was no point to continue monitoring call-in shows.
Yeah, maybe.
Perhaps that's what it was.
It very rarely, I appreciated it. Is it like the only way you were able to find it is if you happened upon it.
Sure.
It's not like they were trying to gain attention or anything like that. It was just like, here's what's happening on this radio show. So funny. So funny. Let's see here. We got a couple more comments. Oh, good one from the 402. Does a game this year have potential to crack the loud moments?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Indiana
and Ohio State at home. I think Washington, if they're come in ranked and Nebraska's able to win that game.
Halloween.
What if Nebraska wins its first overtime game at home in like more than a decade?
Yeah, since that Kansas game in 2000.
No, it's the Iowa game in 2014.
Oh, I thought you were talking about at Memorial Stadium.
Oh yeah, so a home win at Memorial Stadium in overtime would be the Kansas.
Yeah,
Kansas game in what?
In I think 2006 or the 39-32 game.
I didn't even think about that.
A long stretch of not winning in overtime.
Of course, the one that I always
mostly play overtime games on the road, so you start there.
The one that I always think of, the stat that I always think of, is how they haven't got a first down in now more than
since that game.
BC and I did that podcast about Nebraska's overtime woes, and not that people didn't know about it, but like when you just actually listen to how many pathetic performances they have had on the first drive of overtime, which then extended into 2024's absolutely magnificent loss of 50-some yards on their one drive in the Illinois game, which you have already
spectacular
pushed out of your brain.
No, I remember it very well.
That noise was great. So, it's just an incredible thing what they have not accomplished.
It is an incredible thing, and maybe it's time to dust it off again. Do you want to do a segment this week that
on overtime
that explains all the overtime?
Yeah, let's
games?
do it. This seems.
You want to do it tomorrow?
Great. Tomorrow, yeah. Let's just plan it. Why kick it down the road? Let's do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're doing an oral history.
We'll end June by talking about Nebraska's lack of overtime success,
and we're doing it basically every game since the 2014 Iowa.
Here's a good topic. What curse is Nebraska's most likely going to break? Either the overtime or
ranked
wins, yes,
or conference championship, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down.
I would put that down. It's more of beating a ranked opponent or winning.
You guys want to put a cap on the season already on June 29th? Go ahead and do so.
Might as well.
Statistically, you have a better chance to win a ranked game than an overtime game, right? There's just going to be more ranked games than overtime games.
In theory, yeah.
So now we will cross over the 10-year threshold on ranked games this year. We have long crossed over the 10-year threshold in first down in overtime, which is unbelievable. And we've crossed over we're nearing the 20-year threshold on overtime home win.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that was an October game, if I remember.
2006.
Yeah.
I believe.
39-32 Nebraska over Kansas.
I think the better chance to break is the ranked win. And I hope it happens. Maybe it will.
Yeah, well, again, like right now, I don't know. Your ranked games are Iowa plus the top 10 teams, more or less. So I don't know that Washington
could be in there, yeah.
That's your other opportunity.
Definitely no Bowling Green.
Maybe Illinois has like a good year and they end up as like the 24th team in the country when you're going there.
Hey, we'll take anything.
Well, that was if Nebraska they could have done both when Illinois came to town as a ranked team and played in overtime, and they could have knocked out home, ranked team, and overtime win all at the same time.
That's true.
In 2024,
I'm making a proclamation.
If that pass had been thrown slightly better to Luke Lindenmeyer,
that game really is an inflection point in the
That's where the sort of good feels of Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola start to, even Marcus Satterfield, all of it just goes down from there. Don't even want to begin about that's the end of Tommy Hill at that point in time.
That's right.
He gets hurt, what is the name of that receiver I really like? Pat Bryant from Illinois just cooked Nebraska.
Toasted.
Barry Lumley Jr., their OC, cooked Nebraska.
A lot of cooking going on for Illinois that night. What's your proclamation?
Nebraska's going to win an overtime game this season.
Will it be an overtime ranked game?
No. It will be at Michigan State.
Now, in order to win an overtime game, you, in theory, don't have to get a first down.
Yeah. I was just going to mention they could get a pick six and still.
They've never been in that situation though, where they just need a singular score to win the game. They have never had that. Often they start with the ball at the beginning of overtime.
The closest one was the Wisconsin game.
Yeah, where the touchdown wins it.
A touchdown plus an extra point.
Yeah. But they haven't had it where you just get the ball, the other team hasn't scored. So we always talk about the offensive ineptitude.
That's a great question. We'll
defense
evaluate
has
that.
not gotten a lot of stops in overtime either.
What was the situation in the 19 Colorado game?
Colorado, I believe, had kicked a field goal.
Yeah, so they had a chance to go and win there.
Nebraska got sacked on the very first
They
play.
lost 34-31. They went and then they had they did a bunch of stupid stuff with Maurice Washington and then tried to kick a field goal with their punter.
Yeah.
And
Isaac Armstrong.
Yes, great times. Awesome.
2019.
But they had a chance to go and win there.
Yes,
right?
They did. But what I mean, they've never had it where they've given this to other teams many times where they don't score on
0
that first
points.
drive. They've never had it where all you had to do was kick a field goal to win.
I would view stopping the opponent from, like allowing only a field goal is a huge win in overtime.
Yeah,
right?
Nebraska.
Not arguing that. I'm
that-
just saying it's bizarre that they've never been in the situation they've created for the other team many times.
Is that the only time in the overtime streak where they were down by 3 with their possession and a chance to win?
Because a lot of it is that they have either thrown an interception, Tommy Armstrong
Or they give
against
up a
Miami, Adrian Martinez against Michigan State. Those were interceptions. And then you have
Gave up a touchdown to Illinois.
I guess we're doing all of this now. Do we need to
no, we'll do it tomorrow. But because I want to have more exact data.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow. But just off the top of your head.
I think that is.
I think that may have actually been their best chance. And then 16 Wisconsin.
Yes. Because again, score extra point at you win.
Maybe we should attach a not to steal bits here, but maybe we should attach a like a pain score.
Power rank with tiers, the overtime.
No,
losses?
not power rank with tiers. That's different. That's very, very different. But like you attach like a pain score to it.
A groin kick score, if you would.
Something of that nature.
Yeah. A toe stubbing.
Yes. A toe stubbing score.
Okay.
How
Or
much
you
did
shoot
they
your foot off. Like how much of your foot remains?
Just
Or walking on Legos barefoot.
just a pinky at a lot of the games. John writes
that little piggy's still there.
All right, we're gonna do that tomorrow, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And we're gonna do
Overtime
power rank
show.
with tiers of what?
Holidays.
Of holidays.
Because
Okay.
of the 4th of July.
We're all set. We are all set. Nobody writes in. Moaning about overtime woes is a reach. So who cares about a first down in overtime? You start on the 25-yard line, which is striking distance for a touchdown. It's a chip shot for a field goal. I get it. Nebraska has problems.
This person has no idea.
No, we're not.
It's more progressing down the field.
No. This is more of like a wow, isn't this crazy?
Yeah, he doesn't know what we're discussing.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I can't wait for nobody to listen tomorrow.
These are all the things they didn't do.
Maybe nobody's goal is just to have me say that sentence. Nobody's listening.
I think they still have negative yards overall in
They
terms
have to.
of
It's got to be very close. They haven't gained. I mean, they haven't gained very many. All right, we'll take a quick break and round things out. What's for lunch here on Bit Week on 1620 The Zone. All right, two things before we get out of here. Look at this weekend in Iowa City. 3 major events will be taking place in Iowa City in the Coralville communities. This is Friday and Saturday. They on both Friday and Saturday, they will have the Savannah Bananas at Kinnick Stadium, which I did watch a couple minutes of the Savannah Bananas last night. What a horrible television product. That is a terrible watch.
I don't get why.
Do not put that on TV.
What? So was it on ESPN? Because I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, they're televising them.
I get it for the fans. Show up to the games, whatever. That is not a TV product. Never watch that. I don't know. Like, I'm not, whatever. Savannah Bananas, it's not for me. You go to the ballpark, you watch a game, that's fine. It is a horrible
That should be
television
something
product.
that's on ESPNU or ESPN News.
Just imagine baseball, but way worse on television. And people already don't watch baseball.
Well, it's doing well.
No, on TV, is it?
I don't know how it's doing on over. It obviously did amazing with their YouTube and the viral sensation.
Yeah, like all that, right.
But I don't know how it's doing over the air relative to a baseball.
Can't be good because it's a horrible watch. It's a horrible watch.
I get it. I get your perspective of it because I was there, and I know it's not for me. So I know being there, and I didn't like it that much.
No, I'm not
watching it.
I'm not even doing the it's not for me thing. I'm just saying, like, as a thing that you put on TV, it is unwatchable.
I'm telling you, as a thing that they're doing that you're in person for. Like, if you have that
I get that.
Yeah, if you have that reaction for television, I think you're going to think even worse when you're in person.
That's possible. That is very possible. Anyway, that's this weekend at Kinnick Stadium. July 3rd, Big and Rich. And July 3rd through 5th, Iowa City Jazz Festival. So the University of Iowa just sent out a big
got some jazz
traffic alert.
I know I think of Iowa City when I think of the world's best jazz.
It's and Big and Rich.
Now that seems more like Iowa City.
Those attending Big and Rich in Coralville are encouraged to access I-80 by driving west on Highway 1 toward the Coral Ridge Mall, by the way. Just so you guys knew. All right, what's for lunch? It's a new game we're playing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have an Uncrustable in the refrigerator.
You got it waiting for you?
Yeah, it's kind of waiting for me after I'm done with the show.
What's for lunch?
I think, so I'm on a bit of a schedule. I think I'm just going to grab something from a fast food establishment on the way across town. I've got to try to get home before noon. I don't know if I'll have time to eat. So then if I don't eat before I get home, it'll just be something from the freezer probably. I don't know. I don't have a great answer for this. I'm like the answer I am every time I used to fill in for what's for dinner. I had no idea.
I don't know.
I knew the segment was coming. I couldn't give an answer.
Same here. I agree with all of you on this.
I'm usually a last second thing.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to do this.
There was a day that I had tamales for lunch, and it was a great day.
You're welcome.
I'm attempting to do this thing where I don't really eat lunch, and I like eat one big meal at like 3:30.
Interesting. I hate that.
It's awful.
I hate it for you.
It makes me way more productive from in the immediate hours after this show ends, which is I've found in my new routine that those are the prime hours for getting bleep done. So if I don't eat, I won't have the necessity to fall asleep. Therefore, I will be productive. And the food is the thing that is standing in between that for me.
In my previous life, or not previous life, but previous work life, 9 to 11 was like the 9 to noon or 9 to 11. That was
your money hours right now.
That's when I was getting everything done with my life. Now it has to be 1 to 4. Has to be. There's no other period of time that I have 3 hours to get stuff done.
Or you could just not eat. And then
for me, it has nothing to do with the lunch. It has to do with an obligation of which I created for myself. So, that's out of the way. Then 1 to 4 is my runway for every day.
That's what's for lunch. What?
Hooray! We don't know.
What a segment. What a segment. All right. That's going to do it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. We have a crossover with Matt's fill-in next on 1620 The Zone.